And lift off on a classic afternoon. 2 cards coming to you thick and fast. 7 races here this afternoon on Racing Post Live in association with Betfair. Myself, Dave Orton, thrilled to be back in the seat. It's going to be fun and fast and furious. That is for sure. Classic, why? We go to Warwick. The Classic Chase is I suppose the jewel in the crown this afternoon, but we've also got, heating it up at Kempton on a very soggy day, the Lanzarote handicap coming your way. We've got some Grade 2 action as well, the Silviniaco Conti Chase as well, a race that often kicks up 1:30 to 3:35. Stick with us this afternoon. If you're watching on YouTube, thumbs up. That's how you get involved on the chat. It's an interactive show. Let's have your naps. I've been chatting to some people already. Good to see some regulars out there. If you are new to the show, you're going to learn all about that market there. There you go. I finally get it right. That is the in-running market. You get spotlight premium content here from the Racing Post as well. And you're going to get the best tips in the business, we hope. Mud, glorious mud. Nothing quite like it for cooling the blood. That's what it's all about today. Let's wallow in it.
Did you even prepare that line?
Of course I did. And talking of preparing, it looks like Robbie Wilders, the anti-postman, has really prepared himself.
I mean, Kate Tracey said, we're talking about Harry Potter houses, and she said I've been Slytherin, so I've got my snake shirt on.
You are a bit of a snake. You are a bit of a snake.
That's a bit harsh, mate, but...
Well, I mean, that brings us to the Leamington Hurdle, because we've got a great Grade 2.
Tenuous.
And there is a...
Well, I suppose there's
Lucinda is there
Snake
in the camper van. Lucinda Russell and Snake Rolls fancied. Mortal Kombat, people have been saying so far in the office, that sort of thing.
People haven't said
Are you up for the fight?
Let's have it, mate, yeah. It's be a good day.
Great to have Robbie Wilders with us. And let's go down the line. This is a barbershop quartet, if you like, and the third leg is Charlie Post. You'd be the falsetto, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, Kieran Gethin just came up on the CB screen as well there.
Did he now? We're watching Warwick, aren't we, the first couple of races? It is generally sloppy stuff all around everywhere, isn't it? The going sticks at Kempton haven't been this low for a long time.
It was pouring when I left home this morning.
And they were bypassing the last fence,
Yeah, the last fence is out. We're not sure why. I'd imagine it's because of maybe unsafe ground with all the rain we've had.
Did Gary Moore just have a winner there?
Gary Moore hacked up, yeah.
And
Maydor could be the story of the day.
That is the gamble of the day, isn't it? It's bringing Marc Hryhorskyj, deputising for Barry Orr. The GOAT himself is back. The drone pilot. The gamble of the day has got to be this Gavega, isn't it, in the Leamington?
Yeah, being very popular on the sportsbook. It was back to around 7-1, much shorter now in places. But it looks a competitive race, so we'll get onto that one later.
There's some great chat going on already, Devo. I see you out there. Let's get some socials building up then. You will have your say on the show. What wins the Leamington? What wins the Lanzarote? What wins the Classic Chase? I think we sign off, don't we, with the Potemps as well. That's cut up, the Potemps race. You must be
Yeah,
gutted.
shame, yeah, the bomber Liston not taking his chance.
But the fact they've pulled that, it means that there's a day in that, isn't there?
Definitely a day, yeah.
Look out for
he's
the
racing
Potemps
from
qualifiers.
£5 out of the weight, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
We've got some Irish influence, haven't we? Gordon's bringing a couple of over. No side of Burley, of course, is there?
Yeah,
Is he out? He's
out.
The 2 JP horses
Is he
out
keeping the
last.
weights down for Gordon's other one?
Very possible, isn't it? Very possible. Sneaky. Gordon Elliott winning a Potemps qualifier. Are you sure?
Needs to go up, though, that one to get in.
I suggest it before. Does it?
I think so, yeah.
That's the
I think
theory.
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's also got one in the really interesting Grade 2 novice chase for the Staying Chase. Is complete unknown. Currently the fav there. Hryhorskyj quite like. Paul Nicholls currently selling himself in Barbados as ever at this time of the year. He does his inoculations and all that sort of stuff. Like lots of yards do.
Paul
now,
does. Is it
Well, I don't know. Maybe has a quick jab before. You wouldn't need a jab over there, I can tell you. But the horses can historically slow down a little bit. Do you remember this time last year? He went barren, didn't he?
I mean, his are actually going all right, but Dan Skelton's have been a little bit in and out, haven't they? There's a, you know,
Yeah,
it's
the
a
winner
fun.
at Weatherby earlier on under your man.
It's a funny time of year, though, isn't it? Like some horses can underperform when they've had these flu jabs.
It's a tricky time, isn't it? But that's why you're here with us. We're going to hopefully point you in the right direction, get some January profit for you, boost the banks. And Marc, again, people that are new to the show, safe gambling is what it's all about. We don't have to play in every single race. You will be trading in every race, though.
Yeah, obviously that's the plan. We're covering ITV races at Kempton and Warwick today. Also, I've got a Trixie to put on just for the win. Usually my MO is an each way lucky, but there's so many non-runners, it's difficult to find value. So what we'll do is we'll get the straight Trixie win on to start with. So we've got 3 here. First one, first leg, we've got Ansem. It's running in the 130 Kempton,
Yes.
4-1. And in the 150 Warwick, we've got the Goffer, 3-1. I think this one's a big price.
That's Elliott's.
Yeah, should be favourite in my opinion. I think that's the one. That's the one we want to be on.
You're going early here, Marcus.
Yeah, in the 205 Kempton, we've got one of Nichols' Pictory, 5-4 to bring home the Trixie. £10 stake returns, I think it was roughly around £835 profit.
Lovely. So it's basically a small outlay for a big return.
Yeah.
And have you got the multi-offer going still?
Yeah, I think it's £10 on the multis, get a £10 free bet.
There you go. All right, so take advantage of that if you would like with Boots Sports. But Mark will be looking at anti-post price. I mean, whether we quite see, I mean, suppose the Leamington posted would be the one, maybe for Cheltenham quotes.
Yeah.
But there is a horse running in the Silviniaco who's been doubly entered at Cheltenham, and he's a fascinating steamer in the market.
Go on, who have we got?
It's the Breath of Angels.
Oh, lovely, yeah. I mean, over 1,000-day layoff to overcome. First run with Sam Thomas. I mean, you read the comments and Sam says, "Oh, we're just hoping for a nice introduction." I just don't believe you're bringing a horse back after this long off on proper soft ground without having him tuned up. And I think if there's one to serve it up to Pick Dory, he's the one with back class that could do it, isn't he?
I'm with you all the way. I think he's a fascinating horse. Absolutely. We were talking, weren't we, yesterday?
Yeah,
he hasn't been seen since.
I think you've got to have a saver on him, really. He's got a couple of big entries at Cheltenham as well. They wouldn't be wasting those, surely.
You're not looking there, but don't tell us where you are because we've got the 1:30 coming up. We're actually agreeing on this, but just to remind you, if you're not signed up this year to the members club out there, you can do so. The racing, it's essential, this stuff, let's face it. Stay ahead of the field. Absolutely right. Get your first month free. What's all that about?
A Moolah Gold out a second.
It's absolutely gold if you're getting your first month free. Subscribe today then to the members club. It's all out there for you. Get involved. Just why not? Have some fun. They're all there. All the big names, all the best content in the game. All right, 50% off then. There you go. It keeps coming, these offers. Wow. We need help out there in January, don't we?
Tricky time of year, mate, yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Your missus blew a lot of cash, your cash yesterday.
It was my wife's birthday yesterday. And
you're as cold as ice on these selections.
Honestly. And it can only get warmer here because I've had
It can't get any warmer in here. It can't get any warmer in here.
There is
Tell your armpits that, mate.
There's a bit of building work going on. You've dressed the most sensibly today somehow.
He's breaking out already. He looks like he's in the sauna.
I always feel the pinch when it gets hot. Like any tube, any time of year, I'm straight
literally
jacket
like you're
off.
in Mykonos. Quite
I wish I was, mate, but unfortunately I'm in RP Live.
There's a bit of building work going on around the area. We're in South Bank in the capital, and it's fair to say the aircon is off. So we're warming up, guys. That's the question.
Time I've seen you, you've cocked one or two up, mate.
Yeah, listen, we'll get the winners, don't worry.
That's more important, yeah.
We'll get the winners.
Okay. Right, we're all on Ansam, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every single one of us is
decent.
left in here.
No.
Oh, you're not?
No.
You're jumping ship?
Yeah, I was never on that ship.
Okay, tell me why. Tell me sweet little why. Charlie Poste
I'm going with
first.
percussion. You know, I think he run around Fontwell on heavy ground. I think conditions are going to be really testing. He's ran 2 cracking races at Aintree over the Grand National fences, and yeah, I think he's off a mark here that, you know, I don't see why he can't be competitive off for Laura Morgan, who continues to go from strength to strength, and yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I think he's overpriced in this race. Tile Tapper, I agree with. I'm not convinced by him. I think he's short enough.
He's quite weak now. He's out to 3.25 and the 9-4 mark, the favourite.
Does Laura Morgan ever run a horse that you don't fancy?
Look, he just
Fair to say you're a Yard sponsor, aren't you?
I think she's a good trainer.
You, I think, absolutely Laura, if you're watching, #1 fan club. She might cue back into this later. So I'm sure some people from the Yard will be watching. Charlie Poste is your biggest fan, and Percussion takes his out. Interesting horse, isn't he? I mean, he's really climbed up the ladder this. I remember getting beat around Southwell and things like that, and no disparaging about Southwell, but on a Saturday when you're looking at Kempton, big handicap. So fair play, but look, the entry thing and all that sort of stuff, it showed him to be a proper horse, didn't it? Give us the case for Ansam.
Yeah, we like Ansam, don't we? I mean, he's much better going right-handed, isn't he? He kept jumping out to his right in the Coral Gold Cup last time. That didn't help him. I don't think he gets home over 3 mile 2 either. I think the ground, I wouldn't want it too testing here, but he does go on a bit of soft. I mean, you go back to that Ascot run last season where he'd absolutely bolted up. I thought he was a potential sort of 140s, maybe even low 150s horse. He's not kicked on since then, but I thought that was a pretty good run last time, and it's just the key to him is going right-handed. So I think he's the likeliest winner. Certainly more than Tile Tapper.
He got taken on, didn't he, in the Coral Gold Cup, and they duelled up front for a long way.
Yeah, that wouldn't have helped him.
I remember
that stages.
Wedgie was on that day, wasn't he?
He was.
I think he was. I seem to have something along the lines.
We're off, lads.
We're off and running,
Wow.
okay, at Kempton. Something got back to me. They were delighted with Ansam, despite the fact he finished 6th. Right, okay. For those of you that don't have the pictures out there, or you international viewers out there, Ansam, I can tell you, is in front. And me and Robbie Wilders will be very happy with that, because I think when he won around Ascot that time, he dominated, didn't he? And Wedgie gets them posted in such a good rhythm, doesn't he? Hope I'm not cursed this out there.
He's just a very good rider. As they go down to the open ditch, like you say, let's not jinx it. Watch him over this. Ears prick, flies.
Lovely that, yeah.
Percussion shifting slightly out to his left. Enrillo's bang up there. Tile Tapper following through. and Marc Hryhorskyj's selection, Belargus, whips them all in.
It's not going too well, the one at the back, Belargus.
Oh, steady on, man. They've only jumped 2 fences.
Ansom's actually favourite in running here at 11-4.
You goaded him there, Posty. I saw what you did. You loved that. You said Marc Hryhorskyj is out the back and struggling after 2
I didn't
fences.
say struggling.
You
I said
did.
dropped in.
You did.
Head cocked slightly to one side as well, Belargus, but like early days as they switch into the back straight. 4 fences in a line here to take.
And Rillo's an interesting chap, isn't he? Because we've not seen him since he fell in the Badger Beers, and they always seem to fancy him a bit, don't they? But they've let him go in the market.
He never quite seems to do it though, does he?
He's got more letters than numbers in his form figures, as
That's
they
not
say.
a horse I like to back generally.
Second run after a wind up there. Interesting at the moment, like Harry Cobden did it in the King George as well. He's taken this horse notably wide again and giving him
it's got
plenty
to be
of
because
space.
of the mishaps, hasn't it? Because
Surely, yeah, but-
I think he was cruising when he fell behind Frodon. Probably wouldn't have beaten Frodon that day. Tell you what, there are interesting horses all around this. I mean, Smarty Wild right on the inside for Team Hobbs. He's an interesting character. But you get him in a rhythm, he's definitely handicapped to win one. And I am keeping my beady eye on Kitty's Light here.
yeah.
Because surely this is going to be a warm up for the crack at the Close Brothers
Ansom's
handicap,
jumping
isn't it?
very well here. It's 2.84 in running here.
Oh, come on! It's all
Wedgie.
about the ground, I think, with Ansem.
He's jumping much better than he did in this race last year. His jumping sort of fell apart a bit in that. So it's good to see him back in a rhythm.
It's muddy, glorious muddy on the hurdles course. But John Joe O'Neill won the second race with a horse that he's thought to want some all right ground. John Joe O'Neill Johnny went wide that way and pounced at the last. So perhaps it's not that bad. You know, we don't want this tacky stuff with it. At least it's wet, isn't it? And they're getting through it. Same as they are at Warwick as well, where a reminder the Classic Chase comes up at 3 o'clock. That is going to be a war of attrition. At the moment then, this will be 3 out next time round. And Wedgie has got Ansem going quite nice. I mean, he really does jump to his left, Rob, doesn't he, this chap?
Yeah, very much so. To his right.
To his right, sorry,
Yeah.
left and right.
Important.
Get it right, Dave.
Important to he just simply has to go this way around. They've obviously not sorted that issue, but he's just going so much better than he was in this last year. So he seems much happier than he has been in the past.
Yeah, I like him a great deal. And all right, let's have a look. What else is catching the eye? I mean, Tile Tapper's in a lovely position, Marc. He's
Very weak. 3
3
to 1, 7 to 2 and running on the Betfair Exchange.
And you're Belargus.
Yeah, Belargus, it's not looking too great here. He's 50 to 1 in running. Looks like he spat the dummy out already.
I remember this
Potentially
chap as a
doesn't stay
juvenile
either.
hurdler
Yeah.
when he joined Nick Gifford. They had quite high hopes for him. He just hasn't really. He sort of got
kicked on.
caught up by the handicapper as a hurdler, and then fences hasn't really been for him. But he'll be hoping for. I'll tell you what, he's warming up a little bit now as he goes past Kitty's Light out in last place, and Rillo's still being taken wide, isn't he? How are you feeling about Percussion then, Posty?
Lukewarm. I think he's jumped a little bit out to his left through this early stage, and he seems to be racing a little bit behind the bridles. Gavin Sheehan's having to chiv him along just to keep him up where he wants him. Smarty Wild's travelled powerfully down the inner, and like you say, Tile Tapper's kind of had the box seat throughout, and Rillo has jumped really well with a wide trip under Harry Cobden.
I'm still really happy though, Wilders, aren't you?
Oh yeah, you can't not be. Yeah.
This is exactly the plan I hoped for.
He's picked up a very easy lead.
Yeah.
Like,
For the first time this season, Kitty's Light is showing signs that he's enjoying a handicap chase again. And like I say, I think there's been one plan for him all season.
Surely he's waiting for some good ground as well.
It's the Kempton race that he was second into his captain or stablemate.
Wedgie's odds on and
Tile Tapper.
He's having a little tap of the reins there, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, we're odds on 8 to 11 and
we've got him in trouble.
here.
We've got him in big trouble here.
What do we do here? We just eject, or do we go for glory?
No, I don't think you have to just yet.
Just keep it going.
Wedge is opening up here, isn't he?
Yeah.
You're not riding tactics.
The jocks need
2
to.
to 5.
No, I'm talking about trading tactics.
Oh, right.
I mean, he is riding exactly what I might be thinking about the trade at this point. Just go for glory, boys.
2 to 5 and running here, 3's on and running in front.
Wow, this is good stuff. He was a massive drifter earlier in the day.
He's extending as well.
This was the nap, yesterday on the feature show, wasn't it? Come on.
Indeed.
What can possibly go wrong from here? There's
Smarty
still a
Wild
fair way
been
to
switched
go.
out wide off the rail for some reason by Tom O'Brien.
Dave, I might be able to nick a place here on the outside.
You're actually warming
maybe.
up a bit on Belargus, who's been
maybe
ridden
get
to
a
get the
place.
trip. He's
Yeah.
got them all cold, though.
Yeah.
Can he last home? That's the question. And Smarty Wild, you might say, is the danger. As we saw from Percussion at Aintree, he does stay. Here we go. That's for the 4th last, I think, isn't it? Or was that the 5th last?
Smarty.
Smarty Wild has been ridden to stay. He's not a cast iron stayer at all. I think your place might be looking all good
Yeah, I
here.
think so. We'll take 3rd.
This is 4 out then, and what a leap that is. It's such a... Is that 4 out?
Yeah, they're drunken behind.
What's going on with the camera work there? I'll never know at Kempton on this
Too
bend.
windy, I'd say, up in that cradle there.
I mean, this is seriously
You've given him a
impressive,
pass there, the cameraman, haven't you?
Yeah.
But we are 10 lengths clear on Ansam.
Yeah, Balagas is very much hitting the place.
Balagas is coming on. He's not going to win this, surely, Balagas. But he'd like to think he'd get a place for Marc Hryhorskyj. We put him up at a whopper of a price.
Where'd you look between the legs there, cruising?
We like that, do we?
Yeah. Still not short, 10 to 1 on. I thought he'd be shorter than this by now.
Well, hang on, we've still got 3 fences to go. Rob, what you want about, man?
He's been jumping well. Let's not.
Listen, ask Charlie Post what it's like to be 10 clear at the third last.
Come on, Anton.
And not pull one out the bag, he knows.
Really well.
But at the moment, this is where Ansam is now just starting to feel a little bit drunk. If there is a gubbing in there, it's Smarty Wild. But Tom O'Brien, very hard at work on him. Adam Wedge has got, look at his ears prick, this guy. He's absolutely lovely. But he's shortened into that, Posty. Why is he doing this?
Yeah, but I mean, the difficulty is for Wedgie here, like the horse wants to go right anyway, so he's got to be careful setting him up for too much of a long stride when he's getting tired, because he is going to shift right at the last minute. So you'll see him hold now. I'd imagine he's going to give him room to go right. Here you go, down to the inside, pops the fence, job done.
Lovely. Now, this chap, you would be thinking, is going to be looking at the Bet365 Gold Cup after this, because this is an absolute romp. Whatever that snake shirt brings to the party, Robbie Wilders, it's profit, man.
Yeah, it's good
and
to
after
see.
a sticky start, Dave Orton is back in the game.
Surely it's what was the Racing Post trophy for him next, no?
Racing
Post Chase, no?
Probably. But is he going to go? I don't know.
It's going to be a right old climb after that.
What's he on?
135. He'd be up to 142.
For that.
Do you reckon? I don't know. Sometimes they take into account heavy conditions, like exaggerated winning distances. He'd be low 140s.
I like to play that game, as you know, what the handicap is going to give him. Marc
7.
Hryhorskyj, that was over from a long way out, right? Give us a story of the market.
He's absolutely bolted up. Ansam, we had that in the Trixie, first leg up, 4 to 1.
The multi is on the move.
Yeah, 4 to 1, yeah. So I fancy the golfer in the next at 3 to 1. So that was a nice winner at 4 to 1 there. But even after a few fences, as soon as Adam Wedge got an uncontested lead, he was favourite. Tile Tapper looked under pressure on halfway round as well.
How often we say it time and again, stay in handicap chase in the winter, got to be up there. And like for the classic chase later, I mean, but I can't think bar one for Arthur. Nearly every winner in the last 10 years has been in the first 3 or 4 the whole way around.
It's a real puzzle, the classic chase, isn't it? We're going to switch to Warwick shortly, but well done if you followed us in. Well done if you fancied Ansam anyway. Let's build up the socials now. Let's hear from you. That's what we say when we say socials. Get in your shouts out there. Let us know where you're watching on this soggy Saturday, wherever you are. But we're lining it up here on Racing Post Live. We're going all the way through again for you guys. Next Saturday we're going to be... Matty Batch comes on, doesn't he? We were saying last Saturday, Matty Batch has got a lot of love all of a sudden. His career comes to a crux because finally, you get your revenge.
I do, you know, but he's going to be doing what he was born to do. He's doing the trading.
Because, of course, he's now no longer a licensed individual.
Well, he should have given it up a long time ago. We said that.
He skips into this studio, doesn't he, knowing that you've got to press the button sometimes.
But he did. I feel like we had an exclusive the last time he was on it. We basically goaded him into announcing he was stopping, and then not within a day or so, he announced it.
The reason why I didn't give it the big welly on that one, but it was great to see him, by the way, at the front of the Race Post website, wasn't it? And on Luck on Sundays, but on Get In last night as well. We were saying that it's great, the love for Matty, but he's been telling me this for I think 2 years now, pretty much. We've been waiting for that. It's like worse than Davy Russell, you know. It's like, who, by the way, has made a hell of a comeback.
Well, you reckon Batch is going to come back for Jersey?
Listen, do not rule Batch out of a comeback. It would be, if someone offered him a ride, he'd be straight there, wouldn't he?
Yeah, just
the
one
measure
ride.
Of the man.
One ride would do.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his chat with Nick Luck, actually, by the way. It was good. They don't always tell it how it is, as you said to me off air, but he did, didn't he?
Yeah,
He's
none of those sort of usual cliches about everything's been wonderful.
Yeah, well, absolutely. All right, so Batch will be with us next Saturday. Join us for that. What is it? Oh, it's Clarence House Chase, isn't it? Is that going to be on, by the way, Martin? Does it look like the match is on? Is it? It looks like Edward Stone versus Energumene, isn't it?
He's very short, isn't he? 8 to 13.
We need to get behind this again, though, don't we?
Oh, a crack at that, yeah.
So we had it last year, didn't we? Shishkin and Energumene. We need to get this on. I don't know, fascinating stuff, because it's great to see, isn't it? 2 horses not waiting for Cheltenham before they lock horns. Marvellous stuff. All right, okay, let's go to Warwick then. We've got a Grade 2 coming up. I've got some... Anil Sapali opens the floor up for you all out there and said, best bet today, the Gotha. Take it away, Marc Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, I was pretty keen on this one as well. We'll handle conditions. I think the form behind Willie Mullins' Hador is strong, smart hurdler. But we're in a nice position now because of Ansam's won the first leg of the Trixie. I actually like the outsider here as well. Kieran Giffing's mount's currently 11.5. So what we'll probably do is we'll probably just Dutch the both of them, or maybe back... we'll just Dutch the both of them here. I think Dan Skelton's runner, Gaia Delitex pronunciation there. I think it was,
Hang on.
I can't believe you took that on. I can't believe he took it on. I thought he'd just gone with Dan Skelton's horse in the next.
He saw the mountain and he tried to climb it there with that pronunciation.
Are we going with Galea de Lito?
Oh, you've just thrown him under a bus there, didn't
Okay,
you?
so this one was strongly fancied last time. KO Star in Kempton, right?
No, I'll tell you what, you really are Barry's deputy. Barry would have taken that on as
Yeah,
well.
listen, you got to take it on. Got to go out of a bang.
Good man.
But listen, I think the gopher 4.6 is value here around 7-2. I think Complete Unknown's too short. Obviously ran well behind Botox Has, so we were on with G-Rod when that one ran at Haydock. Don't think the form at Foss Lass is that great, so we're going to play 2 here, right? We're going to back the gopher, and we're going to have a saver on the outside there as well. So I'm trying to work out the stakes. So we'll have, let's see.
The amount of French horses in training, I'm surprised that Lito is such a struggle for Marc.
Yeah, they're all
About a
coming
third of them.
He's got Pick Dory to go. I fear for the man.
Yeah, they're all in there today because they know what I'm on, you know.
Yeah, look, it is something of a nightmare sometimes, his pronunciation. There was lots said about it on the feature show we did yesterday, believe it or not. But don't let it rile you out there, guys. There are bigger things to worry about. If you want to say the 4 horse of Dan Skelton's, you can.
I think I'll pass.
Getting a bit of comic timing now, Hryhorskyj as well. So you are basically taking on the front 2 in the market. She's interesting, isn't she, I think, because just nothing went right at Kempton last time. But
She headbutted a few fences early on, didn't she? And that seemed to put her off completely.
I mean, are you actually suggesting she headbutted the fences?
I mean, literally.
You've been on a horse that's headbutted a fence while you've been riding?
I've definitely been on one.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it? Oh, that must worry you. You head wobbles then.
Well, it's concern, isn't it? You know, yeah. As in, the fact they're taking it head on is never ideal.
No,
but it seemed to put her off completely, didn't it? I mean, she's a saddler maker mare, so I mean, she
what
won
does
on
that
head.
mean?
She won on. They're well suited to testing conditions.
Yeah. A banger. She looked
banger.
real good.
She
Massive
went
as
through
well,
it. Yeah, and the form of that worked out okay.
Look at Tom Leach, getting in on the party. Leachy, great to have you with us again. He says French pronouncing. I've got to get I always call it pronouncing. People have a go at me about it's pronouncing, isn't it?
Yeah.
French, because that's an oxymoron in itself, isn't it? French pronouncing is gold, Hryhorskyj. 3 laughing emojis. Jack Reeve, who's clipping up all social, says Poste's living rent-free in your head now for the afternoon.
That's why they get me on, you know, not for the horses, just for the pronunciation.
If you would like to ask him how to tee up a pronunciation as the show goes on, we're more than happy to have it.
Just whenever you're ready.
So next race, I'll say, guess which one I'm going to tip here, and then you can do the pronunciation first. Okay?
Yeah, well, it's Pick Dory, so you might need some help.
I just wondered with the gopher about the jumping round the trap like Warwick, you know, like the fence is coming quick. Would that be a concern at all or not?
Well, let me give you a quote if you don't mind. Coming, we've got James Byrne there for us doing the roving reporting on Classic Day, and Jamie Moore, who got off Hadex des Oboe. That's how you do it, mate. There is a race at Lingfield next week. Is it Lingfield Million next week? Oh, that's a great meeting. That. 20 quid to get in across the 3 days. I keep saying Lingfield have got a new hospitality team and they're running the show management. They're going to be, and they've got some big plans. But Dad's the trainer. We think we'll go there and strike while they're on. So we were worried about the soft ground with him, which is what we thought when we were previewing the race. Just coming in. Third time lucky was in the race as well, wasn't he? Not the day today.
No.
He thought it would be okay. It's actually quite fresh down the inside, says Jamie, and it's wet, so we're getting through it lovely. So don't worry about the ground, basically. Just look for the glorious mud lovers at Warwick, and we'll be okay. And we're off to a fly here. So we're hoping that Gordon Elliott takes this out. Who's got the ride on this?
Sam Ewing. Big
oh,
fan
yeah,
of his.
Course. Are you?
He's very good. Very good rider, yeah. Big fan.
All right. Gentleman Arms completes the quartet. I like Complete Unknown. He did me a favour at Foss Lass on his chasing debut. He's been built for fences this, but I thought he ran a lot better than the bare form in that very competitive handicap hurdle at Haydock on Betfair Chase Day. And he just didn't quite get home. He's back up to 3 miles, which is something concerned, but this is Nichols' race, this. Despite the fact that Paul has a stinky time, we've been saying Next Destination won it, didn't he? What won it last year? 300 through 5. He takes in the classic Chase. He's lightly front runner as well, isn't he? I'm surprised.
There's a lot of lightly front runners.
Are there?
Yeah.
Also, we could be looking at a one for Arthur.
No, I still think it is one of those races.
You're now living rent free in my head.
I think it is still one of those races that you want. My concern, well, we get to 300 through 5 when the race comes round, won't we? Complete Unknown, I'm with you as well.
You're with me.
I mean, you're saying about the trip. I think the way he came home at Foss Lass, it suggests
I'll
that
be
he's
honest with
made
you, I
for
think
this.
Harry gave him enough to do doing it next.
Yeah, I'm part of the Complete Unknown team as well.
Yes.
I mean, Gallia de Lito, I was really keen on her at Kempton, but didn't jump well enough at all.
Very strong in the betting that day, 5-2. That was a competitive race at Kempton as well, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, because she opened up and I seem to recall she was around 10-1 at one point. She just
Absolutely smashed
in, but I didn't like what I saw. I like what I saw a banger, but I mean, she's also got to carry a £5 penalty against the boys. I just thought Complete Unknown was the safest conveyance, jumped well at Poste last, definitely going to be better over 3 miles. Just echoing what you boys say, really. It's a trappy little race, but I think his jumping could win it.
Do we think that Harry will lead on Gallier de Lito? I had to have a good look back at her name. The trap door was open.
You composed yourself, didn't you?
I did. There's nothing wrong with that. Take a breath.
Yeah, exactly.
Take a breath. Which I struggle to do sometimes.
Google that means in French.
I think it's one of those races. The only thing I would say, if you're with either the Goffer or Gallier de Lito,
You got it.
This is the sort of contest where there's not a lot of excuses not to find rhythm. 4 runners, slow ground. There shouldn't be a lot of pace in the race. It should make it easier for horses to find some jump-in rhythm.
Okay.
Much as that they come at you quick round Warwick, it does place a bit of a premium on jumping soundly.
Nichols is going for the hat-trick in the race, of course. Some interesting horses who won this down the line. I mean, 2 for Gold, really good horse on his day, isn't he? OK Corral, very tempted. Miss Parfois, she was brilliant, wasn't she, for the Honey? But I loved her so much. American
Just got beat up at Cheltenham, didn't she?
American for Harry Fry had to have, tar to run him. he was a Utah horse in the end. Black Hercules, Sago Success, Corrin Wood, and Rocky Creek for Nichols as well. They're all 4-milers in the making, those sort of horses, and that is the race that I think you should go. I think 300 through 5 should have gone for the 4-miler last year, but Heskin, Max McNeil's very, very loyal to his first rider.
Yeah, which you have to respect.
They wanted to ride him in the Brown Advisory, didn't they? Yeah. Mark, you're smiling over there. What's the problem?
Yeah, listen, I think this is a competitive race. I think Complete Unknown's the right price now, 6-4. I'm not sure about the Skeleton Run. I think that one's too short, but yeah, I think the Gopher's going to run a big race here at 7-2, 4.3.
Right. Seeing them walking around 4 abreast, as in it seems like they're just going to line up across the track.
Andy Sims joined the party. Andy, he loves the multiple out there, and he always kicks off. And we'd like to know what else is in them, Andy, of course. But Complete Unknown starts them off. Singles, doublés, and a treble.
Let us know what your doubles and trebles are as well, please, Andy.
Yes, absolutely. Please. Get them in. We need, it's all verified here. That's what it's all about. All right, Andy, good to have you with us, mate. Well, loads of you out there at the moment getting them in. Will Carey is in the studio today building them up. Let's be hearing from you. We're building up to the Lanzarote. We've got, of course, the Silvignaco Conti Chase. That's a pronunciation that could have been my track.
Oh, you did it yesterday, didn't you?
Silvianico, I used to call him all the time. Silvignaco Conti.
Yeah.
Some horse around Kempton, wasn't he?
Good horse.
A bomber around Kempton.
A race named
Angel's
after him.
Breath. That's the steamer today.
Oh man, that is I see the queuing up continues for Angel's Breath in the next day, doesn't it?
Back double-figure prices on the sportsbook yesterday, and very strong on the exchange as well today. So backers like that one.
Sam Ewing's father was the man that trains Constitution Hill in his point-to-point as well.
Is that right?
Yeah, big point-to-point trainer from the north of Ireland.
Very talented rider, Sam Ewing.
Good rider.
Very talented.
He got tasked with riding Tiger Roll when it went on the flat, didn't it? It fell out the gates, I remember. And everyone was like, well, they must think a lot of this chap, and he just completely fell out the gates that day.
Surely if you're him, you're not overly pleased that Davy Russell's coming back to step in, are you?
Yeah, I think if you're Jordan Gainford and that, you'll feel a bit like that's a shame, But
it's a golden opportunity, isn't it?
There's so much
interesting
riding
decision,
on it, isn't it?
Interesting
it is an interesting. We'll get into that. We've got a little bit of gap towards the back end of the show. We'll talk about the news this week and what might be happening in the next couple of weeks. Edwardstone and Ergamine. Let's start teeing it up, guys, out there. Again, if you want to have Cheltenham chat, no apologies. It's in sight now, guys, isn't it? Let's have it. How are you looking for that? A lot talked about Facile Vega again this week. Paul Keeley got the talons out for that one. The preview circuit is about to start. He'll be the first name on everyone's lips.
Do you ever do any of those previews?
Yeah, I've done my fair share.
Hosting
and punditry. Yeah. Hosting
Flags
and punditry.
up, that's it.
All right, okay. Let's host you this race at Warwick. It's 150. It's Grade 2 stuff. Will we be seeing a proper flyer for the National Hunt Challenge Chase? Could there still be a Brown Advisory horse in the race? Good luck, whichever way you play.
Going to be interesting to see how this is going to work tactically.
Do you want to get your 5 live hat on and give us a bit of a call here?
I can do if you want to.
You need to get back into.
You want to break, do you? And they jumped off there.
Oh, what's happened to
the Gopher being chased away down the inside by Sam Ewing.
Posty. What was that about?
The way they kind of have to walk round the ditch there and a bit ragged, and the starters dropped the tape, and the way they've gone. Gallier de Lito has got the early lead under Harry Skelton and bags the rail.
well.
Cuts the schnoz off Sam Ewing and the Goffer, who has to follow through. Complete unknown, wide out on the track under Lorcan Williams and applying a bit of pressure to the races.
Interesting.
Gentleman at arms settles in with Kieran Geffins.
You're about to say
Interesting.
gentleman to me.
If you were with Complete Unknown last time, guys, this is not what happened, is it, Poste?
No, it's not at all.
I don't know whether they stretched him early in that or it was just a lot, right, let's see how he gets on, this first time over fences there. But he had a lot to make up to out and he flew from there, didn't he?
He absolutely did, yeah. I mean, I'd have thought he'd have traded quite big in running at one stage, as in... but they're rattling on down the hill. I mean, whether we can rely on the speed gun, but 31, 32 miles an hour as they turn into the back straight at Warwick. Row of 5 fences, jumping in rhythm is going to be at a premium now at this early stage with these young novice chasers.
I'll tell you, Gentleman at Arms is quite interesting here, guys, because they've been disappointed with him. I think that's fair to say, but we know a little bit about Kieran and Stuart Edmonds because of Kate Tracy, of course, who sits on. That's his partner. And I think he called him Larry so-and-so, basically, after the Haydock run. He's always been thought to be a favourite. Don't forget this was second in a Grade 1 at Aintree, of course. Maybe sort of low...
And you can see early doors, Dave, bit of a loop in the reins with Kieran Geffins. Of all of them, he's not really... No, he's pitched there.
The curse. Kate will be...
But again, because what you're seeing, because he's behind the bridle, he's not really able to kind of travel at the fences. And he made it on a half stride, came up too long and landed out on his head.
This is what you get, Wilders.
Impressive, yeah.
This is what you get.
You can commentate a bit more often, mate.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
all day.
I saw Keels was quite liking Gentleman at Arms.
Was he?
I just was on and off the bridle as well here.
He is, yeah.
He went out as the biggest 10-1 in running, but he's back in the
This is a
bridle.
funny one because if you're doing the comments in running here, you want to say that he's keen, but of course it contradicts when they're having to still get at them a little bit. It's funny that it's got sort of caught between stools, isn't it?
Definitely. A Gentleman at Arms, are we adding another 0 to it yet or not yet?
Poor old Kieran is getting this ready for a handicap now, I think, because he's gone about, 10 off. This is what you would say became detached at the 5th.
Very much so. He just struggled with those line of fences, like I say, racing lazily, jumping sloppy.
Actually, I wouldn't put a 0 on just yet.
The only thing we are getting, like you say, is Lorcan Williams, Harry Skelton, they're kind of getting at it with each other, and as Complete Unknown drags his back legs through, the Goffer and Sam Ewing might be in the sort of plum position right now, and he'd be quite happy to watch on and observe and let them kind of serve it up to each other as they bypass the last of the circuit to go.
Yeah, we'll try and find out why they are bypassing. It's probably the false ground, I would imagine, on the inside, isn't it? Because I mean, it's so it's going to be a long old run in the classic chase. That's for sure.
The Goffer here.
He is, isn't he? Sam Ewing. He's kind of like having to kid him round a little bit.
Yeah, Complete Unknown's out to 9-4-5-2 here. It's BSP 2.32.
Is that because he's been a bit keen, do you think, Rob?
Taken on.
I think it's got overreaction, I was thinking.
All right, okay, so there you go. You can get involved if you want to in running. That's what it's all about. We like some in running socials. Let's build them up as well. We'll hear from you through the races as we look at the crowd at Warwick. What interesting characters at Warwick today, I can tell you that much. And
Rodders is there, isn't he?
It's a proper race goers track, Warwick. It's
I did one of my first
extremely
race
popular with
reports,
real race fans. I don't mean that disparagingly. It tends to be racing clubs that go there, coach trips and things like that.
I think the Gopher's going all right here.
Complete Unknown has definitely lost a couple of legs.
I'm not happy with him
he's 7-2
here.
now in running now.
Yeah.
He's got a real sulky way of racing, hasn't he? Ears back, not going forward.
Yeah.
Harry Skelton set Galea Delito alight, and she's jumped really well those 3 fences.
I know it's important at every jumping course, but particularly at Warwick. You always say if you win, the Kingmaker, you win an Arkle, can't
Definitely,
you?
and like what you see now is he's able to fill up as they climb to the top of the hill, let her descend, fill her lungs into the back straight. And if you can meet these 5 down the back on good shots, you're filling up all the time while the horses behind you are having to kind of press at the wrong moment in the race. Harry Skelton, I'd say now, is in pole position as they run down the hill.
Yeah, okay. Andy Sim has let us know about his multiple, by the way. He's got Completely Unknown, so I'm fingers crossed, because in between the fence he looks all right, doesn't he? Simon O'Neill's in the chat as well, so says Completely Unknown not settling. He agrees with us. And all the while, the eyes are drawn to Marc Hryhorskyj, the Goffer. And let's have a look at Hryhorskyj. Look, the intense look. This is what freaked Bruce Millington out. Scared the life out of him on the show. When Mark's got one in running,
there is question marks about if this one stays. What is 3-1 in running here? Sam Ewing certainly not letting Harry Skelton get away. Depends what this one finds.
I'd imagine you're just going to see Harry try and see a good shot now as they go the first one in the back straight, wing it and get the land running.
There's a lot of banter in the chat community out there, guys, as well. I'm seeing that as well. Simon O'Neill also comes back in. Oh, that's a beautiful line.
And again, Complete Unknown, the Goffer, both miss out. He steals a length, fills up. He's really in pole position.
Yeah, the Goffer's just feeling the pinch now, Mark.
Here you go.
He's winged that one. Has she gone a little bit too hard? That's the question. No. A banger, she just kept going, didn't she, when she went on a chase debut? But they're not done with it. It's almost the fences are the issue for Complete Unknown. They must think he's a stout stayer, complete unknown to run him in this
Back on the
race.
bridle again now.
He's coming back. I'll tell you what, Lorcan Williams is sensing the blood here all of a sudden. And now Harry's having to go for a little bit. Posty, what do you reckon?
Well, I think whatever happens, Harry Skelton has given this horse the perfect Warwick ride. He winged every fence down the back. He's saving all the time.
But she was taken on early doors, wasn't she?
Now he can fill up round the turn while Lorcan Williams off the bridle.
This is it. Will we see one of these celebrations on a Saturday again from Team Skelton? Because she leads in the unpronounceable Gallia de Leto. He always had a look as well.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, this is Amsam. So the mare, she was fancied, of course, at Kempton on Boxing Day when she was gambled. Nothing went her way. She's come back onto a left-handed course, and at the moment, she's seeing on the boys and she's seeing it in style. And this will be the last, guys. You can now, I think, go and collect. Complete unknown, despite the fact he's done plenty wrong through the race. There's still a future for him. The Goffer, up and down on the spot. This will probably give Gordon a sighter for something you have to imagine going forward. He never really looked happy on the track. And Gentleman at Arms has been a bit of a character today, I think we can say. Well done, Team Skelton. Again, Ashdown Lad all of a sudden is going to get a bit shorter, I think, because they're primed for a good day, the Skeltons, I think. It was a bit of a sticky Christmas period for them. You can't keep a good team down. And Harry Wing goes by. And look, a lot been said about those celebrations. We'll get to that in a minute, but he really enjoyed that. You can see why. Marc Hryhorskyj, when did they know she was going to make it?
Gallia de Leto, great ride by Harry Skelton, dominated, and they're all under pressure and behind. I think Gentleman at Arms was beat very early on. We made one mistake, beat the Goffer as well, on and off the bridle. Be interesting to see what they do with that one next time out. Again, I think Complete Unknown was taken on for the lead early, and that was that one cooked. What
do we do with her? Do we go to the Brown Advisory? She's not slow, is she?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, she's going to be getting £7.
She's not going to go for...
£5.
Well, Snow Leopardess ran as a mare in the National Hunt. She ran all right in it as well in that very good year.
I think you have to wonder, though, is soft ground very important to her? So, I mean, maybe they're going to be dictated.
Listen, that's not been a problem at Cheltenham.
No, I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm just saying, as in, it'll be interesting to see which way they sway. I mean, she certainly seems to have stamina in abundance, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So,
what did you make of that out there? Did we see something for Cheltenham? Let us know. What did Devo think of this? One of our regulars comes back on. She's a superb jumper. The sun at Kempton caught her out. A lot been said about that.
An angle, that, yeah.
Imperial Aura started off that, didn't he? Do you remember old Imperial Aura when he fell in this race that's coming up next, actually? The Sylvan Yarko Conti Chase.
I mean, she was just a completely different animal there, wasn't she? If you judge
Complete Unknown helped her a bit though, didn't he? Because he's run on stoutly for second. He just never looked. He didn't really settle. He didn't have a great cut at the fences.
Yeah, I mean, I just think you just saw there how important it was to bag that early lead. You know, Harry Skelton went and winged the first, got straight over onto the rail. He was able to make them have to race around him, and jumping won that. You know, like I say, down that back straight, everywhere he goes, he's filling up because he's jumping slickly, and the Goffer and Complete Unknown just didn't find enough rhythm. You know, I wonder if there'd be something in Ireland for Gallia de Leto. Fairy House, something like that.
There is that race, isn't there?
Is there not a mare's chase there?
There is. Oh my lord, I'm going to find it for you. That's a great shout. Actually, they wouldn't mind going over there for that, would they?
Look, they're not frightened to go anywhere, are they?
All right, great stuff. Okay, so we've had 2 races over fences so far for you on the show, 7 coming your way. We've got another race over fences. Will it be the 3rd horse in a row to make all? Let's go and see what Marc Hryhorskyj is going to think wins the... Oh, we know what you think wins it. This is, of course, the Trixie, isn't it? 1 leg in, 1 leg beat, and this is the final leg. And you've got the Fav running for you. The unpronounceable...
Pictory.
Oh, he's on a roll. He's on a roll.
101. Yeah, listen, I think this is what Luke's progressed. I think the form behind Miller's Bank is solid. Just couldn't get into the King George, that one. But personally, I think that is a Gold Cup horse. But I thought this was a really tricky race. Pictory, this one's around 5 to 4, 2.76 now on the Betfair Exchange. Paint the Dream, stable in form, 3.75. The bet that I was actually going to have was I was going to place St Calvados. We got that one beat last time at Ascot with Cool Cody. That one was around 9 to 2.
Too fizzy, St Calvados.
Yeah, too fizzy. Just the wrong price. It's easy money.
He couldn't hold it, Maxi, could he?
Yeah.
We'll have to watch this go down, by the way, guys. If hopefully Racing TV will show us that, because they're up at Weatherby at the moment as well. So, busy day on the channel again.
St Calvados, he was 9 to 2 on the Betfair Sportsbook yesterday. He's 9.6. That was, you could lay this one in the 2-place market around 6 to 4. I thought
that was a real good race to watch. That was very exciting, wasn't it? And Cool Cody, who'd obviously had that fall, he absolutely loves the game at Cheltenham.
Hard as nails, isn't he?
Hard, tough as nails. And
Yeah.
we thought he had to lead, and yet, of course, in the Ansam colours of the Clifford.
Yeah.
Adam Wedge giving a peach that day. So listen, again, you don't have to bet in every race. St Calvados was the place lay. He's 3-1 now. The value's gone. I had him up about 6-4, 7-4 chance to get involved. Obviously, we got the favourite Pictory to land the Trixie. He's pretty weak. This one was around 2.3 earlier on. He's 2.74 now on the Betfair Exchange.
Right.
So listen, the floor is yours for this one. Obviously,
We're
got
on the
favourite.
steamer, Posty.
We certainly are. I mean,
16s.
I know Calvados
Start
should
of the
never
week.
be fizzy though, should it?
You don't think so?
No.
It's off then, basically. Is it a bit like he a bit like he was? David Maxwell versus Cool Cody Mark 2, because it will be all about David Maxwell and St Calvados, who's a classy animal on his day, but man, he is keen.
Tricky ride for him, isn't it?
Tricky ride for him because it's all about the strength of pulling him back. We've got Clondor Castle in the race, who's a proper Grade 1 horse, periphery on his day. You have to imagine it will be the Close Brothers handicap for him, which he won last year off this mark. He likes slightly better ground as well. Paint the Dream, is he a left-handed horse? Is he stuck between a rock and a hard stall now? He's Newbury lover, isn't he? The Great Wood Gold Cup would be for him.
The race fell apart last time. Connor Brace set off the pace.
He just
Won easy, didn't
absolutely
it?
tore it
Up.
new on that race, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it brings us to the humongously talented Angel's Breath.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating, isn't it? He's been off over 1,000 days, like I say, trainer switch, but I don't see being with Sam Thomas as a negative at all in any way, shape or form.
Because he's got all the dice horses
Yeah.
unless they're in partnerships now, right? So Sam has, he's not a cast-off from Endo.
But Sam's proven he's a very, very good trainer, hasn't he? So I
Yeah,
mean,
he's got I Will Do It, of course, in the Classic Chase, the Welsh
Yeah.
National winner coming back out.
could be a real big Saturday for
And
him.
you've got to think he's going to be ready first time out. He's entered in the Ryanair and the Gold Cup. He beat First Flow that day on his chasing day. Oh man! And then he got a terrible tendon injury. Just great to see him back. He'll love the ground. Should love the track.
Well, on your Racing Post website, it does say we're very lucky to have him. It's his first run back for a very long time, so we just want him to come back safe and sound. We don't buy any of that.
We're not having that. That is a smoke screen.
I think he definitely wants him to come back safe and sound, but I can't believe he doesn't have him very ready for
He's
this.
got a good sense of humour, Sam, and he's having us away there, I think, a little bit. Yeah, this chap will be ready.
Yeah,
because
well, wouldn't you when you've been off that long?
Yeah,
Like, I imagine
exactly.
he's been fit to run for quite a while.
Training methods are different now, aren't they? And what I love on this show is when we have a two-way split. It means that there are two tribes. Thank God I'm not with Wilders. But you're on Pictory's
yeah,
tribe.
well, I mean, I did say saver on Angels, but I didn't expect Angels to be 4-1.
Yeah,
I mean,
You've got a ticket for our tribe.
I was thought very seriously about putting him up postman at 16s at the start of the week, but I
Angel's
thought
Breath, yeah.
Yeah, because Bet365 were going out on a. Well, they were going 60. Everyone else was at 8-1.
They were proper limbing it out, weren't they?
But,
it was a huge. It was a
bold.
sore
I
thumber.
thought that wouldn't last, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on a 16s, great. But now, well, I mean, the money is significant in it. But anyway, I think the winner comes from either Angel's Breath or Pic Dory. Pic Dory is a proper Kempton horse.
What about the ground for him? Now, I said this to you yesterday.
Yeah.
You batted it straight off, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got all his form in France was on very soft ground, and he was very, very
Do
good
we know
in France.
much about that form? Because in my head, I want to think it was lesser than what he's been coming up against and all that sort of
Possibly.
stuff.
But
I haven't really
last
looked.
time round on heavy, he placed in a handicap hurdle at Taunton off 150, RPR of 154.
Yeah.
He's a much better horse now, significantly. He's a much better chaser. So I just think he'll be absolutely fine. Kempton's everywhere else, he's never quite as good. So I think the winner's one of those two.
He's notably weak now. He was 3.7. He's out to 4-1 now, 5s. St Calvados coming in for a bit of sport. He was 9.6 into 7.4. Sort of the angle with that one, if you're place laying it, I mean, Clondor Castle, long layoff, Angel's Breath, long layoff. I mean, you could just run on for a place.
Yeah.
You could have egg on your face at 11-4. Just the price isn't right there. Angel's Breath, 9-2. This one was matched at 12s, 14s on the sports book.
There are other people as they get ready to jump off looking elsewhere, by the way. Seamus Moore out there. Seamus, welcome along. Says, can never write off Cool Cody, but I think this could be too strong. Raikkonen is out there. He says, paint the dream. Seamus Moore, there you go. Up on the screen for you, Seamus. Will was ready. Eagle-eyed. And loads of you out there. Simon O'Neill getting in and saying, I'm worried about Saint and Angel. But let's see how... Now, this is interesting, isn't it, on St Calvados?
Cool Cody's prominent as well.
Well, this is what I think they hoped Cool Cody would do at Ascot, but St Calvados, this is interesting, Posty, isn't it? Because he's actually anchored out the back.
Yeah, complete change of tactics. I think they're going to try and make it slightly easier for David Maxwell. They dropped him out last, hood on for the first time. Going to try and get him to switch off and come through late.
Yeah, all right, so you'll be delighted because Pic Dory,
Yeah,
this could
this is what I
be
thought.
3 winners making it all if this chap goes in.
Yeah, this is what I thought would happen. Although
Angel's
I didn't
Breath,
expect
very keen.
Yeah.
That's very keen.
Well, this was the worry about Angel's Breath, I suppose, Posty, wasn't it? It's just how fresh he's going to
Yeah,
be.
it was, and like Sam lined him up wide, so he's got no cover at all, and he's
jumped
just
that
running a
beautifully.
little bit fresh. He's jumped really accurately and well. down the back, but I'd like to see him switch off a fraction more. You can see the rider's hands up, tugging at the reins.
It's just such a pleasure to see horses like this come back.
He did have he did do that when he was younger, pulled very hard, notably. But he seemed to settle over fences a bit better. But I mean, it's a long time off, isn't it?
Angels is
But
wanting
he seems to have sort of relaxed a bit better now, just as I say that.
Yeah, he beat Danny Kerwin, if you remember, in a Grade 2, didn't he, on his rules debut, and they whacked him that day. Oh, he's such a nice horse, this. Anyway, great to see him back. If you are on Paint the Dream, you are sitting in 4th place at the moment, and they're getting a little bit keen, isn't he? Clondor, the track specialist, absolutely loves it here, Clondor Castle. The 11-year-old now, of course, just in the turn of the new year. And out the back, this is interesting, in the first time out, of course, for Maxi and Paul Nicholls, is in the colours of Complete Unknown, of course, isn't he? Oh no, they're not Maxi colours. Very similar, right?
Similar looking, but completely different owners.
As I was saying that, I was like, "Is Maxi going to try and ride Complete Unknown?" But all right, okay.
And as we speak, Pit Dory's just gone odds on. It's like Anne Sam all over again.
Yeah, let's go to Marc then, because he's shaken off Cool Cody, who again, I don't know what has happened to Cool Cody, but he's lost 4 places all of a sudden.
Yeah, Pick Dory did go odds on one occasion there, fence ago. Harry's got this one on a nice rhythm. Paint the Dream 7-2 and running. St Calvados, I think this one's actually probably settled better than last time out. He's 9.6.
You've got to assume that he's going to have a say in the finish now with 7
a few of them.
No, but you're shaking your head, Posty. What's that about?
I'm not completely convinced. I don't know if he's the sort of horse that wants dropping out early. Be interesting to see.
All right. Well, could the hood make the difference then? But I thought he might be doing a bit more. I have to say, under Dave Maxwell.
Maxwell's silks have just come untucked as well. That can't happen too often.
Okay, and probably not. I don't know. I mean, where did that come from? Eagle-eyed Robbie Wilders. I'll tell you what, Pick Dory has got into a lovely rhythm again, and all of a sudden, we're going to find out about comfort zones here, aren't we? And Paint the Dream, Connor Brace's regular rider, who's very keen not to give him too much rope. All of a sudden, Angel's Breath looks like he's had maybe, a bit of a blow or something.
Too keen. See, that was the issue with Lane St Calvados, because you got 2 her long layers. They'll be tailed off, pulled up. St Calvados runs on for a place. I mean, I think David Maxwell's got this one settled.
We're about a mile out then, guys, at Kempton. The 3rd race of the day here on Racing Post Live. Myself, Dave Orton, joined by Robbie Wilders in the best shirt we've ever seen in the studio. Charlie Poste is with us, and Marc Hryhorskyj from Betfair as well. Come on then, Marc, let's go to you. This has got to go long odds on.
Yeah, Pick the Re 1.67 in front here. Paint the Dream 3.9, around 3-1 and running. I think it's between the top 2 in the betting here.
All right, Paint the Dream showing no signs of hating a right-handed track, that's for sure, Posty, is he? And he's got the target very much on his back.
It's just quite interesting. Connor Bracey, he kind of went wide on the side of the track over the play in the ditch, and now he's switched back right into the slipstream of Pick Dory as they jump the second one down the back.
Both going. Pick Dory's going a bit left, actually.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if Angel's Breath was trying to get back into it then, and then all of a sudden he's walked through that fence. So
St Calvados
is tanking, you know.
Moving up now.
This is just, I didn't see it playing like this on St Calvados. So all of a sudden 5 out, and now Harry Cobden's thinking, how far am I ahead? Shake of the reins for Paint the Dream, who's going to try and put some pressure on coming to this 4th last fence. Let's see how this is so important to meet this fence.
And he put down. No, he put down. Yeah.
The cavalry are coming if you're on the fav. They're all lining up now. Paint the Dream will be the first to have a cavalry. Look at David Maxwell.
He gets squeezed out there. He went to go in between Johnny Burke and Sam Twiston Davis, and they shut the door on him.
Slammed the door. And that's cost him a couple of lengths, I think, didn't he? But you have to. I mean, what? He's full of running St Calvados, but he's got about 10 lengths to make up on Pick Dory. Pick Dory wasn't great 4 out then, Robbie. You want to see a pearler here?
Yeah, he's normally such a good jumper. He doesn't normally do that, but I'll be very confident now. He's just hit for 4.
St Calvados got a ton there, hasn't he? He's cruising on the inside, just too far back.
3 out then, and again a beautiful jump there.
Nicely, yeah.
And St Calvados is he's just been badly placed in the races. I wouldn't blame Maxwell either. He went for the run that wasn't there.
But still, I mean, Pitt Dory's lengthening right away here. He's winning in the style of a mid-160s.
Paint the Dream is paying now for going with him. He's gone through the top of that Pick Dory, but Clondor Castle's running a beautiful prep for the handicap next month. They'll be thrilled with this coming back, I think, because today would not have been the day. But I'll tell you what, just one more fence to go, and we'll be sudden saying.
All of a sudden,
the snake is absolutely firing, isn't he?
Hryhorskyj's got the double of the Trixie, isn't
Well done, Marcus. Well done, Robbie. They're absolutely flying today, the chaps, at Kempton, that's for sure. 2 out of 2 for the boys so far at Kempton. Lovely stuff. And listen, if you're looking at the fav there, 5-4, everyone's saying Paul Nicholls slowing down in January. What are you on about, lads? But traditionally, it's a case on this day. I don't know, Outlaw Peter, who fancies him coming up in the next race? It's the Lanzarote there, the novice, who's been pinpointed for this in some very, very famous silks coming your way. But that was good, wasn't it? This is a horse that probably won't be going to Cheltenham, lads. He's one of those,
I don't think he's a Cheltenham. I'd think possibly Aintree. a 2.5 miler
Was
there.
he fancy for the Turners at one point last year?
I don't know.
Surely he's going to go for the. Is it not the 2-3 grade one at Ascot or whatever?
Could do. That gets testing quite a lot. That gets heavy.
He loves heavy ground. No problem with that.
The ground thing, we can now knock that out. Fair play to you, Rob. You knew that as well.
To be fair, I mean, what's the ground? Is it soft or soft to heavy at Kempton?
It's bordering on heavy.
Yeah.
If you believe the guy in stick, it's
I mean,
bordering
that's
on heavy.
not a bad shout from Poste, to be fair. I mean, I'd think he's a very versatile. He's just a massive improver, isn't he?
Yeah.
Jumps well. Plenty to like.
And I would imagine that is number one probably for Paul now. And Paul loves that race, of course. Corto Star used to win it, etc. Masterminded used to go for it and all that sort of stuff. Interesting. Obviously loves Kempton because he's 2 from 2 there now. He slammed a horse called Favois, didn't he, on his last run at Ascot, I seem to remember there.
Yep, you're right, yeah.
Well, he's in a great place, this horse, isn't he? And I think it was after he got slammed by Long Press, wasn't it, last year, they decided not to go to Cheltenham, I think. That was in the Grade 1 there.
I think he could be a classic case of a horse that, at 8 years old, or 7, right, and 8, he's only probably just come into himself. I think, again, Harry Cobden's, he's just turned 8 and he's got a bit of a scope to improve. He seems to be also really on the rise, like Robbie said.
3 runs over fences, 3 winners from the front.
Yeah, replica of Ansem, wasn't it? Great ride by Harry Cobden.
All right, could that be the case coming up in the Classic Chase, which is going to be our next race over fences coming your way, I think, at 3 p.m. It is at 3 p.m, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, now we've got to go back to Warwick, but we can have a little breather here as well and just catch up on what's happened so far. Angel's Breath there, just a final postscript from him, just too fizzy.
Yeah.
Not fair comeback run if you don't look at it from a financial point of view.
Yeah, I thought it was just okay.
What's he rated? 147 odd. He's going to come down, and there could be a handicap involved. I know he's got the big race entries, but there could be a handicap.
Sam will be like, I told you all along.
Oh, smash, man.
I wasn't having you away.
Yeah, all right, so we've seen one gamble foil there then basically at Kempton, but we've got another one coming up, Marc Hryhorskyj, because Gary Moore already on the score sheet at Warwick this afternoon, and the unbeaten giant that is Gavega comes up next, and he was around about 8-1 this morning, guys, and overnight people kept piling into him, and then all of a sudden I looked again at around about mid-morning and he's into 5-2 favourite now. He was definitely out there with the likes of Moonhunter, who's just gone on a slide. He's got Snake Roll, Ginny's Destiny is interesting. Knowlesley Road, this hasn't been a happy hunting ground for Paul Nicholls, he's easy to back as well, and Grey Dawning, a Kempton winner, now switching his luck for the Skeletons, who are on an absolute roll as well. And Louis McCall, Gavega, nap of the day. Louis, good to see you out there, my man. They all love this.
Yeah,
the gallery guys.
They were all on at Lingfield, I'll tell you that, when it's bolted up.
I've got an opinion about this guy, but let's see what the market is saying then, because he has come right down, Marc, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, this thing was as big as 8-1 earlier. It's 3.8 on the exchange right now. It's around 11-4. Listen, it's done nothing wrong, but again, there's a lot of market confidence. 2 from 2 over hurdles, likely leader. Looks progressive. The stable rider, the winner today as well.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of pace in this.
Yeah, I was thinking it might go the other way now because there is so much pace, and a horse like Ginny's Destiny who can just slot in. Ginny's Destiny very weak. I thought he'd be favourite after his.
Yeah, well, he's won here, isn't he? He's the traveller in the race, I think, that will look to pounce. If you go into your members club now, you can watch these replays. If you sign up, they're all free, of course. Have we got a Ryanair chase coming for Pictory, by the way?
Yeah, I'll get that for you.
I'll let you have a look at that. Because I think that they will be tempted by it after that.
Betfair are going 14-1 about him for the Ryanair.
You've seen
I mean, if he is committed to that, I think that's a very good price to
You liked him for the King George as a bit of a flyer, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. He just seems to have really turned the corner.
This is how he looks at things, you see. He's very much an out-the-box
I could see it next year.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, the way he just kept lengthening over the 2.5 miles, I think 3 miles, 3 miles, he'll be fine.
All right, we're having some fun here on Racing Post Live. Let's hope the winners keep flowing. At the moment,
going all right, mate, yeah.
We're going all right, aren't we? The Trixie was landed, the double of it anyway. Well done, Marc. Yeah. That's great stuff. So we're trying to keep you in profit basically in this January.
Heavy ground, could he drop back to 2 miles? Sandown last day of the season if it was slow, celebration chase?
Well, you'd be seeing him. That's the sort of track you'd imagine. I think you've nailed it with the Ascot.
I think he'll go
There'd be Ascot chase next, 2, 3.
He'll have a go at Fakir Duderry there, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He needs to be going for Grade 1s now.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, great stuff. But Paul Nicholls then on the score sheet this afternoon. What have we got coming up next? A Grey Dawn in the Spotlight selection you can see there. And Tiernan Murray, welcome along, Tiernan. Mexico to run well. Agree with Keels and Siegel, who both put this up. Now this has got form, of course.
Yeah, that's one of my selections here. I agree with Robbie on a Ginny's Destiny here. If there is too much pace, this is the one that could pick up the pieces.
That's why I like him.
He's a big price. Gavega's at 3-1 now, 4.1. So that's what we're going to play here. The original bet was to back Mexico win in additional place, but we're just going to back Mexico in Ginny's Destiny. We're going to Dutch the pair. So we'll have £20 at 6.8, knocks out 116, and then we'll have £10 on Mexico, 21s, 22s on the Betfair Exchange. That's the way we're going to play it. Listen, the stable's in form. Stuart Edmonds, Keenan Geffings, got a 33% strike rate. It's 8 lengths behind Ginny's Destiny, but I think that's good form. £8 swing for that. Bolted up at South, well beaten Soldier of Destiny, no mug. I mean, this one was as big, what was 14s, and I'm happy to take 20s on the Betfair Exchange right now.
Well, Mexico's come out, hasn't he, for Stuart Edmonds and advertised the Guineas. I'm going to call him Guineas.
The Guineas.
It's a trapdoor.
There's the trapdoor.
Yeah,
I've fallen in.
Yeah.
Guinea fowl.
There's no point in backing Gavega now at 3-1. The price is
Fowl
gone.
of the Guinea.
Price is gone.
The Guinea's Destiny. I'm going to call him Guinea. I
Yeah.
know it's Ginny. It must be Ginny, mustn't it?
Must be.
Must be
Ginny's
Ginny. The
Destiny.
Guinea's Destiny.
I wonder what her destiny is.
Well, it's this race, the Leamington. This was a definite prep for it. He won it with Abdramel, did Tom Lacey. You might remember Ricky Johnson. Picked that up, that Oz, and carried it over the line. Belting. He's a right old character, isn't he?
Third was Skippy on last year as well. Tom
Scipion.
Lacey. Scipion.
Oh yeah, that's the one you again. There's your trapdoor.
What's wrong with that?
That's a terrible pronunciation of that.
You reckon the Silent Sea?
It
Yeah.
was Staghorn, of course, that won this last year, wasn't it? Who runs in the Lexington?
This race,
Lanzarote, yeah.
This
lot of
race,
L's out there.
this race has the last few winners.
Why
have been
Mexico?
really
Now, why is he going to reverse form with Ginny's
I
Destiny?
don't really see that, but I respect Marc a lot. So,
And
well, I
Simon
mean,
Paul.
he has beaten Ginny's Destiny, of course.
Surprise
Aintree
thing,
had time
maybe.
before, but
Yeah, of course. Maybe it's a surprise thing, and now he's sort of fitting his spot. And Stuart Edmonds, despite the fact he's been a little bit quiet since those Aintree handicap wins not so long ago, I think there have been reasons for that. He's been building a new gallop and all that sort of thing. He's been trying to change the operation a little bit. He had 3 winners in quick succession. OK, Gentleman Arms didn't go well, but this is the kind of horse that probably will go to Aintree, you'd think, for them again later on. You know, it's that sort of MO for the guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can sort of see it. You like Moon Hunter. I spoke to Henry Daly yesterday. He thinks, you know, we're not that worried about the ground. It's whether it comes too soon, 16 days after the Doncaster win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think this I think it's a quality renewal of the race, but it's just full of unexposed horses really that haven't sort of stepped up to graded company yet.
You had a form boost at Weatherby
And yeah,
earlier,
exactly. Yeah, we had a form boost with the Hitchin jacking winning, and I just think he's just been on. I think he's just been slightly underestimated by the market. You know, as in he's 2 from 2 over hurdles. I think he's a resolute galloper. I think these conditions and the bit of extra trip will be no harm to him. Again, he doesn't have to make all. Like you said, there's plenty of pace within this race, and I backed him winning place because I just think he could be the sort of horse that might pick up a few other pieces if he's not quite up to winning this. I mean, again, but you know, you can go through these Snake Roller, Lucinda Russell's. I mean, again, if he can dominate, I think he's also plenty of talent, and you go through them all. That they're all lovely embryonic chase of the future, aren't they?
You would. Well, that's what you expect in this, don't you? I mean, Grey Dawning landed a punt in the last race on. Was it Boxing Day or the day after? I can't remember.
Very weak.
On Boxing Day, but
He's
off 1,
weak,
2,
is he?
3. You know, I mean, it's like at the moment that is that graded form? I don't know. You know, he's off to a 1, 2, 9 now. You'd imagine that the Skeltons must think he is, because otherwise 1, 2, 9 is a mark that could be exploited. You'd imagine.
Okay.
He was 2-1 on the sportsbook. He's out to nearly 5s now.
Well, here we go. Look, Jake Galloway. Welcome, Jake. One of our stalwarts out there in the community. Ginny's Destiny in the next course and distance winner. Slightly worried about the drift, but that's not going to put me off. Quite right, Jake. Absolutely right.
drifters win.
And especially in races like this where there are gambles and things like that coming along. Let's mention some others. Knowlesley Knowlesley Road. I went Kate Tracy then, didn't I? Down on the coast. 6-year-old Lorcan Williams, hoping for a better spin than he got on Complete Unknown. Lightly pace angle.
I think definitely going to be up there, but like we've just said, that you've already alluded to, there is quite a lot of horses that like to get on with it in this race,
which is why we like.
And that's going to suit Grey Dawning as well.
You have to imagine so. But he's the drifter he's the stinker in the race.
Yeah, he's very, very weak. Nearly 5-1 on the Betfair Exchange. Like, we're very likely to see absolute mayhem and running here on the Betfair Exchange.
You must have had a slight savour on Snake Roll.
Well, just because I'm wearing a snake tee.
It
would make sense. And I am a snake.
But he is warm-blooded though, isn't he? Like he's sweating.
I'll tell you what,
it
continues to ramp up the temperature in here, doesn't it? I hope you're appreciating this out there, people. This is a tough shift.
it can't keep being like this. This is untenable. I'm so dehydrated.
I've got a picture of us all just dripping.
Shouldn't happen in January.
And tuning
should it?
into the show with like a race to go and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
Be a fan.
Kieran and Will in the go. We've got lots of answers for. Don't worry, that's beers. That's beers on them. Yeah, we'll just have a glass of water, says the senior producer. Cheers, Kieran. Okay, we'll be fine, mate. Don't worry about it. Well, let's all have a quick cheers, shall we, to the tipping so far. I'll tell you what, I've got a great William Harwood social out there, guys, if you want to build that one. That would be great to have that one out there. William's is an Aussie, and here he comes. Lightning fingers, Will. William Harwood. Aye, Dave, from Perth, Western Australia.
I used to live there back in the day.
Did you now?
Yeah. I used to live at
Willie
Joondalup.
Pike in the last at Ascot?
Well travelled,
So good, Ascot, yeah. Joondalup, Little Britain.
You've been
we
to
used call
Ascot?
it.
In
Yeah,
Perth?
I went per
Oh, man, it's
Cup,
a bucket list thing for me.
It was unbelievable, love it.
Wow, brilliant. All right, William, good to see you. It's a good racing down there today, wasn't there? I think is he banned at the moment, Willie Pike? I saw Fred Kersey had some rides down
How many
there
different
for you,
countries you lived in, Mark?
Have you lived in Mexico, where William is
How can
playing?
you not answer that like straight away?
Been about, not Mexico.
I've been
Not
to
about
Mexico.
that.
Anyone else been to Mexico?
No,
Mexico.
there's talk of a potential Cancun trip with the boys this summer, but
Dangerous place.
yeah.
Your sort of place.
I can
Wear that shirt,
Yeah.
dreams will be made.
Yeah.
One
I like
and lost.
dreams being
William,
made, boy.
great to have you watching Down Under. He's staying up late. He loves the show, William. We go far and wide on this. We appreciate you don't always have the pictures down there, so we'll do our best to give you the call. We've got next John Hunt in the making here, of course. Are you looking forward to are you five-living it in the Cheltenham Festival again?
As far as I know, I mean, I do
You're his
need
wingman,
confirmation.
aren't you? Hunt
Yeah.
his wingman there. I actually really enjoy it, I have to say. It's a
Thank you.
really good bit of coverage.
Cheers.
It's a surprising thing, but I absolutely love it. Right, Gavega then, drifting out slightly, Marc, or is he just holding his position? This is the gamble of the day.
Yeah, listen, there's no value in that price now at 4.2. It was as big as 8 to 1. Bigger prices during the week.
All right, we can see Grey Dawning out the back. We can see Moonhunter out the back. We can see Gavega out the back as well. Mexico wants a share of things. That might be a slight change.
Ground will often ride slower over hurdles at Warwick as well, you know, so I think it'll be a bit more of a test this. And again, dominating tactics aren't as favoured over hurdles as fences.
Oh, good luck then, guys, wherever you're playing. Are we going to see a new star coming in? Now, Gavega is the one. My slight reservation about Gavega, having watched his races back, at Lingfield, he winged the second last. Absolutely winged it. And then he walked through the last there. Now, if you watch him back at Fontwell, where it's not easy to be as impressive as he was on ground like that, he also walks a little bit clumsily through. Now, this is going to expose his jumping here, guys, 100%. Because
Who are you with?
I'm with Ginny's, it's quite rare to have a 7-year-old winner of this race, but I think he can break the mould. Understand, Shepherd. Tom Lacey for me.
6 to 1. Fair price, I think. Especially if the race falls apart here.
All right, okay, we're excited about this, guys. We very much are.
I think it's a good race, yeah. There's a lot of interesting profiles going into
We're
it.
going through the card at Kempton. I think this can get us off the mark here at Warwick. Poste is with Moonhunter. For Henry Daly, who's having a lovely run of Saturdays at the moment. Black and Sop, spoke to you about Black and Sop, your horse, I call that. You love that boy, don't you?
Really,
I think he's off like 135 or something like that.
Where's he going next, you say?
They weren't sure. There's a race at Ascot. I think, was it Good Risk at All won the race last year? Do you remember? Under Charlie Deutsch.
Here we go.
That's what he's off.
We're off.
We're off and running then. And perhaps somewhat surprisingly,
Wilders is in the lead.
Wilders is in the lead. The Snake and Derek, I tell you what,
going awfully quick, isn't it?
That's a right up. They are winging guys here for a 2 mile 5. Albert Bartlett trial, I think we can call it that. And
Gavega's
Snake
very
Roll is rattling and rolling up the top. You've got right old knee action, this chap, hasn't he? Gavega's keen in a share of third on the inside. Remember what Jamie Moore said about the ground on the inside. Of course, that was on the chase course, but we have had one run on the hurdles course as well. Right out the back is Moonhunter. They are going to right old lickety-split. Grey Dawning is there as well out the back with, as we expected, Ginny's Destiny, and hunting them up. Mexico on the outside in the sheriff's third. And first thing to say, Knowlesley Road not leading, tad keen. Marc Hryhorskyj, we've seen a couple. What's the exchange?
Favourite in running here, Knowlesley Road, around 11 to 4. Obviously, Snake Roll has shortened into 6.8, got an uncontested lead here. But the Gavega out to 5 to 1 here, very, very keen, hasn't settled yet.
I'll tell you what are we thinking about Moonhunter? You're not going to chuck on another 0 already, are you?
No way. I'm quite happy.
You just can't really
Snake
go the
Roll's
pace.
doing loads in front here. Like, he's lugging out to his right. You can see Derek Fox's left hand up off the rail, trying
This
to
is
drag
very
him
not
back
how
down the
Foxy
turn.
usually rides,
Not
is
at
it?
all. And like you can see, look at his body position.
yeah,
his bum's nearly touching the saddle, so he's trying to get the horse to come back underneath him.
Of course, people would wager against that, saying with, oh, it's a your horse that likes to get on it. You know, so Derek Fox can rider. We just associate him, don't we, with, patient rides, of course. All right, then. We're coming into the home straight for the first time. Robbie Wilders, what's catching your eye?
Yeah, I'd be pretty happy with Ginny's Destiny. Yeah, they're going quick, which is going to help. I just feel like they're going to be picking off.
Yeah, I'm surprised Harry Skelton's drifting in the bend. He's probably the
he's
most
not
settled.
Jumped that brilliantly, Grey Dawning, which
he did
coming
make
for a handicap is somewhat surprising.
Settled lovely,
I
isn't
think he might have got unsighted in it slightly. Gavega is a bit lit up, Mark, and he's drifting out, isn't he?
Yeah, 9-2, 5.4, but Knowsley Road's nearly 5-2 here in running. I think Ginny's Destiny's in the perfect spot here. I can see a pace collapse here, going too quick.
All right, okay, there was a derby, of course, wasn't there? United beat City. 2-1, by the way.
They really?
Yeah,
result.
they did.
That's a big result for
Tell
Arsenal.
you what, and Will Carey, who's sending me that through, he's a gooner, unfortunately.
He is a goonie, yeah. It's all going very well.
Knowsley Road, I
has his
think,
day.
perfectly positioned here.
Yeah,
I'm not happy with yours, Poste. I'm not happy with yours.
He kind of dropped out the back, and you can see he's got
Moonhunter.
nothing to race with, and he's looking very, very babyish.
And I'll tell you what, if Gavega wins this by a couple of lengths, we've got a right old horse, because he's not looking that happy to me at the moment. And he just took a little bit of a stumble there on one of the sort of like bumpy patches there at Warwick on the far side. All the while, the Mexico is coming into it, Marc Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, travelling really well. It was BSP 14.4, so there was quite a lot of late money for this one. We're on at 22s. I think Ginny's Destiny's certainly going to have to pick up 7.2 in running here. But we'll see what happens with the pace here. I'll be surprised this one can keep it up.
We're getting some in-running comments from you guys out there as well. On Toon 2020, who we hear from quite a bit. I've done Snake Roll, he says, too keen. And Grey Dawning as well, who's not that happy with. Listen, it's all to play for. They're starting to concertina up. It's just you can see Posties has gone all the way out to 200. You have to say that run's come too soon for him. That was Henry's reservation. He just never went, did he?
No, exactly. He dropped out the back, and he just got left out there. The quick pace early paid against him as they turned to the back.
So he's 1,000,000 to 1 basically from here then. All right, now they are starting to warm up. And for us on Ginny's, this is a carbon copy of what happened last time, isn't it? Of course.
Yeah, exactly. I'm liking what I'm
really
seeing.
well.
I mean, the exchange isn't liking exactly. Well, he's come in a bit.
Yeah,
I saw him hit about 12.
He's 9-2 now.
What's favourite in running then, Mark?
He's moving up nicely. That was a lovely hurdle.
Knowsley Road still.
I think it's
Getting Grey
Ginny's
Dawning
Destiny in a second, I think. He's absolutely cantering, pace collapsing.
I'll tell you what, they're all abreast then, just one out of it in the minute. It's just, and again, if you're on the gamble on Gavega, it's Jamie Moore not looking that happy. But he's still in the fight, guys.
Gavega don't win.
Okay, all right, let's have a look. Have they jumped the third last? Are we coming to it now? Here we go. Let's get it over. Go on, Ginny. Mexico's still going best for my money, nice. So Knowsley Road, again, I've said Paul Nicholls does not historically do that well in this race. He's just having such a good run of it on Saturdays at the moment.
Put the pressure on. Come on, Stan.
He's taking it up. Mexico's there as well. Grey Dawning now going. Ginny's Destiny.
This is the third last
not enjoying this ground.
No, Ginny's Destiny's fun, mate.
Over they.
This is us there.
Oh, okay.
Like the
Very
silks.
similar
Come on,
colours.
Stan,
I
let it go.
apologise. Right, in that case, I'm back in it.
Come on, Stan.
Mexico's falling in a hole. I apologise about that. William Arm will be screaming at me at the telly.
3-horse race here.
3-horse race then. Knowsley Road going clear. Harry Skelton not out of it at all, despite the fact that Grey Dawning not done everything right. But this is what he did last time on Ginny's Destiny. He came wide and late and then took it up coming to the second last. How much is Knowsley Road paying for that early exuberance?
Tell you what, he's tough though, isn't he, this Knowsley Road?
Really tough.
Come on, Stan, let it go.
Ginny's putting this to bed
Now, come on, Ginny. No, I don't think Harry Skelton's done. Post, do you think Harry gets up? What a finish with it's a thriller. I'll tell you what, they're having a bit of an argument here. All of a sudden, Harry Skelton, he's flattened that Ginny's Destiny. And now Grey Destiny coming through.
Norton Williams dropped his
For
reins.
you all out there, I'll tell you what. Toon, if you were tearing up your ticket in the running, all he's got to do is pop the last. It's quick doubles for Skeltons. Are we going to see the celebration here? That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. What a dour performance this is. They're running up and down on the spot. This guy did plenty wrong through the fast half, but he has come home best. That error, I think, 2 out really cost Ginny's Destiny, who probably needs to do things a bit smoother. He gets up for second. And Knowsley Road, who had a bit of that pace action, that was teed up for the closers, probably mark him up in third as well. Marc Hryhorskyj.
Listen, they're walking home there, aren't they? Grey Dawning was weak all morning, overnight. BSP 6.46 around the 11-2 mark. Good ride by Harry Skelton. Ginny's Destiny, this one did go odds on at one stage, but flattened the last. The race was over. Even in the run, I mean, this one's been done at 1.55. Ginny's Destiny for £169. Did loom up. Did think we had it coming around the bend, but I mean, even in running there, Grey Dawning was trading 8s, 9s, and I thought this one was travelling the best. Gavega, can I maybe put a line through that? Too keen early on, didn't settle.
He's a horse that bossed his novice races Posty, wasn't it? And that was a totally different school lesson for him there.
Probably learned a lot from that.
Yeah, I think so. I think what you're seeing there is like what can happen sometimes over hurdles. The track ride's much slower. They get sucked into racing too early. They got the 3 hurdles in a line down the back straight. There'd been a lot of pace. and then Lorcan Williams wanted to press early, when as Lucinda Russell's horse Snake Roll backed out of it, and as soon as he did that Stan Shepherd challenge, he'd been wide the whole way, went to him, and I think they both got sucked into cutting each other's throats, and Harry Skelton has had the boxy in the middle, following, saving the whole way, and then he even got into challenge in between two horses, which I think with a young horse is the place you want to be. You see it all the time. A young horse gets in between two and
Just
surges through because it gives them something to almost like a slingshot. I thought it was a very good ride, and maybe two other riders just got sucked into a classic thing at Warwick. Going too early, long run into the straight, and then they've just gone up and down the spot.
Well, I think that's a fine analysis, and you would be joined out there by Raikkonen fan who said, "Go on, Harry, and what about the brilliant ride?" So he's a very popular horse because he landed that gamble in the last at Kempton on Boxing Day for all the thousands of punters that were there, and he's just taken out the Leamington. That's doubles for Team Skelton. I did get a quote coming in actually about the unpronounceable Galia Delito. She was really good today. She wants slow ground, so stays well. This race was ideal. We could look at the Reynoldstown next, which is a Brown advisory. And I don't know, she could be Miss Pathwire, couldn't she, and go for the 4 mile, or she could. But the Mayor's Chase was where she was getting quotes for, obviously.
2.5 mile round there.
Yeah, I don't
bog
like,
deep, wouldn't
Yeah.
especially a novice in that race.
Yeah.
Nah, not for me.
All right, but what about this chap? He's got to be looking at Albert Bartlett now, haven't he? With that, I mean, he wants 3 miles this horse, doesn't he?
I'd have thought definitely. I mean, again, it's a sort of horse that it wouldn't surprise. With the way it's been, like, would they go straight to Aintree 3 mile around there?
Flat track, Kempton, Warwick. Yeah, he would have that question to answer, wouldn't he? But lots to like there. And don't give up on Ginny's or Nosey Road. I think you're absolutely right about those two riders there. They've just sensed the glory, haven't they? And,
I think a little bit. Yeah.
All right. Okay. It happens, doesn't it?
I think that was a good old race. Good bet. I hope that works out better than this race has in recent years because it's been a bit underwhelming. But
Well, yeah.
I reckon that form might turn out to be quite strong.
All right, okay, good stuff. We're having a good afternoon here so far, and we are 4 races down, I think, aren't we? We've got many more to come, and it's so hot in here at the moment. And Rob's wearing this
Absolutely ridiculous.
and you're
I'm wet
wearing this
through,
shirt. It feels like we're on the beach. Shall we go to Lanzarote?
Oh.
I've been waiting to do that all day.
Which one of you boys has been all the way to Lanzarote then?
Nah,
I've never been to
not on my
Lanzarote.
radar.
Not on your It's not on your radar, is it?
No.
Much more on Mallorca, man.
I like Mallorca. Yeah.
I like a
Yeah.
bit of Mallorca. Who doesn't?
What's not to
Lanzarote's
like?
a bit lively for me, I would imagine, these days. Marc, have you ever been to Lanzarote? You've been all over the world.
I can't remember. I've been a few places.
How can you not remember, mate?
I've been a few places. I've been
Can't be
there,
that
yeah.
many places.
I
Well,
don't
no,
know,
so
I've been
I'm
there.
with him. I forget where I've been on
able to
holiday
tell
all
you
the time.
any
Happens
country
all
I've
age,
been
you
to.
know.
Anyway, all right, look, it's Lanzarote time. It's a very well-established handicap in the calendar. Its form always usually works out really strongly whenever you go out, for the rest of the handicap hurdles over this intermediate trip throughout the season. Coral Cup, the boys' race at Cheltenham, of course. Cobbler's Dream, who takes his chance again. He won it. He looked like it was going to be a British runner, a winner of that race, and then he got gubbed on the line. He's got a bit more on his plate this time, but I just knocked him off my shortlist. I've got 4. What about you, Marc Hryhorskyj?
Lanzarote here. I mean, I think this is quite an odd market. I think the favourite's too short. Green Glory around 9 to 2, 5.7,
agreed.
up £16 for that last time out. Landed a gamble. Charles Burns, plenty in hand. I'll be honest with you, the rider doesn't fill me with confidence. He's always one I want to take on in the lay department.
Hang on. I'm going to take umbrage with that. He got that. What was the Potemps horse that they won it with? He looked mustard at Cheltenham.
Listen, it's
to me
easy
he
when you've
rode
got a
that.
stone in hand, isn't it?
I think there is an element to that too.
What doubt?
Well, I mean, I think you're talking about a young rider coming to Kempton. Has he ridden there
He's
before?
not going to put this lad on, nepotism or not, unless he can get the job done. And he did get the job done when he beat Botox Haas on that horse. I forget. You're not. Look, opinions are fine. Let's have it.
I think if you list all the 20 riders here, where would he be in the list to ride your horse?
I know we could be talking about a very good rider going down the list. I'm going to take umbrage with that, but I did cross him off the list. I think he's shown his hand a bit too much, which sounds a bit weird for a Charles Byrne horse, doesn't it? Historically, this is a strong trends race. We were chatting about this yesterday with the excellent Kevin Morley's column. If you go down that, it's you've got to have form going right-handed, course and distance winner. Of course, for you, tops the list. You've got that tick. No more than 1 handicap win. Well, he's totally unexposed, this lad. He's carrying some very famous colours for Kempton, of course.
Yep. Outlaw Peter.
Outlaw Peter.
Yeah. Sounds like there's a giant mosquito in here at the moment.
It could be.
I don't know what on earth's going on. Is that the boys he's trying to get the AC working?
There's a bit of a. But if it's either that or this, it's making a beeline for you in a minute.
Yeah.
I would pray to see that.
A mosquito would go for that shirt, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. I really like one here, but you are on Outlaw Peter.
Yeah,
He's
I
on
am.
my shortlist.
Yeah, I mean, look, as in a good run in the Persian War behind Accidental Rebel, and then he hacked up at Exeter in the beginning of November. Marc 130, Harry Cobden, Paul Nicholls, they're flying along at the moment. 10 stone 11 on his back, young horse on the up. Yeah, he do for me.
All right, okay, all right. So Outlaw Peter's on my list. I just remember Gelino Bello is the name of the horse I'm trying to get out. He was the best horse in the race last year. He still couldn't win. And Nicholls, I don't know. Something tells me that he's going to run well without winning it. I like Dubrovnik Harry. For Harry Fry and Brian Carver. They've decided probably quite quickly that this might not be a chaser after that Warwick Exeter chase debut. He's got some decent form though, this lad. Staghorn, who won the Leamington on this day last year.
He was interesting.
It's his comeback. Nick Schofield having to come back as well. I think he'll go well for Archie Watson. First time out might be some concern. But I think Tom Siegel might have nailed this, and I put my colours to this mast as well on. Say hello to my little friend. Scarface.
Well
He's got
found
to
in the
go
market,
close here.
12.5. Listen, I think Green Glory's too short here. I think Outlaw Peter should be the favourite.
Are we going to lay this Green Glory?
Nah, listen,
Place
it's 5-1. There's one I actually like. I mean, I like Shantou Express here. It's 170 poke
Get
on
this
the
out of the
machine.
way. This is the
Wow.
trade, is it?
Yeah, listen, I thought this ran well last time out at Cheltenham.
Did you put this up at Cheltenham?
It
Someone
was
put it up.
it was Bruce Millington.
Yeah.
It's traded 2.8, 15.8 and running.
He did run. Yeah,
But tired up the running. It was a massive run.
He got the rail and we got excited, didn't
Yeah.
we? He just did a bit too much
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
race.
he dropped £2 for that run. I mean, 160s on the exchange. I think that's a massive price. We're going to back this one in the win, and we're going to back this one in the additional place market as well.
Wow. You can see
Just
my tip up there on the screen, guys, but Marc is now
Back in the
placing the
7th
trade
place
on.
market as well. Listen, we'll take
Shantou Express.
7.6 of a £20 at that price. Ran a massive race last time. Stepped down in trip as well. I think he's actually pulled it too much to the rail. Lost all momentum. Dropped in the weights for that as well.
Who was on him that day?
I think it might have been Bassey.
David Bass, yeah.
You've just thrown him under a bus.
And he's hit 15-8 and running there as well.
The Express has been bust. Yeah, I am a bit surprised that he's the outside. That
Yeah, he's a
does
massive
seem like
price,
a
isn't he?
silly price, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's
You're
a massive
surprised that
price.
Camprond is as big as he is as well. It always seems to get support.
Yeah, it might be a spring horse. I don't know. Well, I suppose didn't he win? Won the
You're
Persian?
suggesting he wants to come.
Yeah, he wants to come down a bit.
He had a shocker at Exeter, didn't he, on his chase? Was it his chasing
Yeah,
debut?
he just couldn't jump at all, and then he ran the John Frankham.
And this is a Punchestown Festival winner, this chap as well, isn't it? You know,
Yeah, you've got to be a good horse to win those, but yeah, I just think he's a bit too high.
There are some rags in this race. It shows you what a strong handicap it is that could go well. Red Risk, I wouldn't totally rule him out with Freddie Gingell at the Newbury winner that Paul Siegel, I've done it again. Paul Keeley put up that day.
Watch these trapdoors.
There's a lot of trapdoors out there. WizKid on his best form as well, and Dr. Richard Newland has been a bit quiet for him, hasn't it, over the winter and stuff. But he's an interesting horse. I think there's another one in him. 50 Ball is quite interesting as well. Manalo and Gary Moore up for patrol. Can't wait to see him back. See what he can do. Hendo's got one in here for Nico at 22s, around about that. Rath McKee. Mark of Gold, who does seem better on a left-handed track under Caelan Quinn. And Cobbler's Dream at 20s. That seems too big for me. Posty, what do you like again? Outlaw Peter, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, actually,
What's the danger?
I spoke to Ben Case about Cobbler's Dream. He's in good form. You know, chasing, he just thought he didn't jump as slick as he hoped he would, but back over hurdles, he got a chance here.
And remind us the Lanzarote winner?
Yeah, Petite Tonnerre for me.
Okay. Where's he in the market? Bigger than you might have thought?
Well, he's around 14s, is he? Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, he's 24.
All right, they're about to start, guys. A reminder, the 50% off your members club. It's just getting involved, guys. Go to the website and sign up and you'll see that there. Sam Caney, great show, Dave. I'm on it. I'm Ace Boy each way. Sam, always good to have you on a Saturday afternoon. Welcome along, my man. And, Jane Williams. It didn't quite go away last Saturday, Sam, did it? But she's been in great form before that. And a couple of our judges are on that as well. Mally D comes on. Mally, where you been hiding? And says, gone with West Balboa for the nap. This could be it's a high-profile treble on Saturday for the Skelts. She loves these conditions.
Cobbler's Dream's a big mover here. That's in the 25.
This is a late money move, is it, on the last year's winner?
Queuing up on this one,
and
yeah.
Fief comes on and says, WizKid each way for me. Somewhat disappointing this year, but like the ground, a decent claimer on board. Remind myself who that is.
Luke Scott.
It is Luke Scott. What do we know about Luke Scott?
I coach him, yeah, very good young lad. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, this could be a little bit of compensation coming our way if this gets his. And West Balboa right out the back, I can tell you that, Mally D. And massive price, West Balboa, because she's a real popular horse. They're going a right old lickety split at the moment, guys. What do we got up front?
Outlaw
Staghorn.
Peter.
Outlaw
Staghorn,
Peter's up there.
yeah.
Shantu's up there,
Shantu,
unsurprisingly.
yeah.
What's his in red and black? Is this Dubrovnik?
Dubrovnik Harry.
Where's Scarface? He's just got a nice little sitting
That's him on the
midfield as well.
outside, yeah.
Following,
God,
yeah.
blimey, pick him out here, guys. Quinta de la Mar out the back as well. What's this in the winners owners group? Penton Hills, my lord, a
Hills,
52 shot. Penton Hills from Triumph Hurdle.
Whoa,
I'm brought down.
Whoa,
Petit
that was a
Tonnerre,
JP
just
nightmare. But was that Petit that's come
No,
down?
Petit Tonnerre badly hampered. Compron gone early. And there was one other that I missed.
Campron's gone early, badly
Yeah.
hampered Petit Tonnerre out the back, but John, it was...
massive market moves here. Up for parole, that was 40s BSP. It's in the 20s now.
Yeah.
Gavin Sheehan.
Under Gavin Sheehan, who just loves to get on with it, Gav, doesn't he, in his rides. And this was a very talented young horse for the Snowdens, and James Snowden's having a good winter as well.
Looks like they're on a good pace here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Rath McKee catching my eye a little bit out the back. All right, let's come to you. That was a yeah.
Well, both the Hendersons as well. Pentland Hill's taken very wide up the straight there in search of some better ground and just tucking in now as they go out round the top bend. West Bilbao has made a couple of places as well.
Now the Fav's gone right back here. Philip Burns has gone right back, Robbie. What's happened there?
Yeah,
He's
he doesn't
bumping
look too
away.
happy either.
Chased away.
Wow, he's all the way out to 9-1, Marc Hryhorskyj.
So he's not bigger.
No surprise there. 10.5 on the Betfair Exchange. Shantu Express not going any better.
Real difference of opinion here, fellas.
He's got a nice sit, Sam, on the inside there, look.
Real difference of opinion, though. They're spread out across the track. Outlaw Peter, widest of all.
Oh, come on, Scarface. Can you desperately get involved? Imagine the puns I'm going to line up for you if he comes over the last. Harbour Lake managed to go down the back as well. That inside run, he's been chopped off slightly and didn't jump it well. I'll tell you what, Petit Tonnerre was a
Yeah,
bit sticky
got that
there.
one all wrong.
All right, okay, we're going down the far side. Whiz Kid then puts it up to Upper Up.
he's been
You've
pulled
got a
up
bit. No, Outlaw Peter is really travelling well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's travelling great. Just slightly got in tight there. Hermes Boy as well. Shrewd judges on him, and he travels well in fourth.
What's that tracking, Outlaw Peter? Is it
West Bilbao.
Is it West Bilbao?
Yeah.
West Bilbao.
West Balboa, so yeah, Bilbao.
Bilbao, trapdoor there for Poste. There's
Yeah.
so many runners in this, guys. Pentland Hills stinking.
Dubrovnik Harry struggling as well under
Easy.
pressure. Staghorn dropping out very quickly down the inside.
Yeah, he's done.
Okay, all right. Listen, it's pandemonium in here. If you say anything to my ear, I'm not going to hear a
Play
thing.
Green Glory's travelling very well.
Fair play. Green Glory's just completely...
Yeah, might want
writing
to
him
be
off,
quick here, yeah. Picking them
We're
off one by
writing him
one.
off. What about Scarface? Where is he? He's going really well, isn't he? Is that him? I'm hoping he's behind Red Risk. Is that him, Rob? It looks like
just
him,
in the black there, yeah.
What's he saying in the market, Scarface, Marc?
Yeah, he's 11.5. He's not really moved. They're in the BSP 11.2.
Okay, all right. Red Risk still going well, isn't he? Quinto de la Mar still there. West Balboa. 50 ball, not out of this. Cobbler's Dream last year's winner of the late steamer. He's shaking the reins. It's hard work here, guys, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they went too quick.
Okay, is there going to be another pace collapse then? I'm hoping it'll be on
Hermes
Scarface.
Boy's in trouble here as
Hermes
well.
Boy on the inside. Whiz Kid then for Kief out there on the inside.
There's going to be a lot of horses pulled up here.
And all of a sudden, the Charles Burns horse has come right
Yeah,
back
he's
into
going
it.
very well, isn't he? Green Glory.
That was 3 out then,
Could've
guys.
picked them
This is. I tell you what, Outlaw Peter's got to be fav, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's
not.
Favourites here is West Balboa, 3-1 and running here.
Travelling
I
very
would
strong.
be taking a
Up for
little
parole.
bit of that.
Charles
All of a sudden,
Burns, 7.
Scarface off the bridle. Doesn't look like he's going to get hard.
There's
Charles
only
Burns
3 or 4
favourite
of these
Look at
still
this
travelling.
Ben Pauling horse as well. This has been ridden to perfection so far up on Keelan Woods, I imagine. Keto,
Got no chance.
Quinta Del Mar. What do you mean he's got no chance? They're
off
going to
the
fall in the
bridle.
hole, aren't they? West Balboa then. Couldn't be another one, could it, for the Skeletons? Bridge is sitting absolutely
Green
motionless at
Glory's
the
not with
moment.
us either. That's trading.
She's got great
4.9
cover there,
yeah.
Poste, hasn't she, on West
Yeah,
Balboa?
she got the absolute plum spot, right now, as in with plenty of cover. Harry Cobden is going to switch very wide
He
up the
likes
straight.
to do this.
Yeah.
He likes to do this, of course. I think he did it on. What was it? It was Cosmic Fabulous, wasn't it? Of course, in the rearranged race.
Green Glory's not with us. 2-1
Green
and
Glory
running
is
coming
not
now.
out of this, but he needs to find the horse. At the moment, this could be another make all, could it? Because up for parole, it's back off a layoff. When's he going to fall in a hole? Red Risk on the outside, another outside. West Balboa now having a crack. Outlaw Peter out on his feet. Whiskey out on his feet. Charles Burns is going to win it, guys, unless it's carnage at the last. Here they come then, all to play for. Red Risk on the inside.
Red Risk jump's going to be important.
West Balboa. Oh, she
Oh,
fit on
she
the
didn't
inside.
need
I'll
that.
tell you why on the
No.
inside, isn't it? Is this going to be your man?
Freddie Gingell,
This
Paul
is Freddie
Nichols,
Gingell.
Red
This
Risk.
will be his
West
biggest
Bilbao
win today.
coming. West Bilbao
Bilbao
coming.
on the near
It's going to
side.
be tight.
Freddie Gingell on the far side. I think Freddie's got this, isn't he? Oh, Bridge is going to do him. It's
I wouldn't want to call that.
West Balboa, I think, on the inside. I think Bridge has just ridden him out
Oh,
of
I'm
it.
not so sure.
Red Risk was in front just
I
after
don't
the
know.
pull-up. What a finish that was. Nearly breathless because they were absolutely
Poste
walking home
Exchange,
again.
I think West Balboa.
Two's on.
I think West Balboa.
Two's on. 109 now, so obviously they've seen the screen. Oh,
What
heads
a
up.
price.
West
Who was it
Balboa's
that put it up just before we went off? Was it Manny D? I think it might have been.
You can mark that up as well. She made quite a sloppy mistake at the last.
She's got it, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Red Risk has run a steamer. Freddie must have thought he had that. What a young rider going places. He is. What backed out of it at the last day? It was up for parole. Finally, that lack of a run went. What a finish then at Kempton. Mud, glorious mud. I said at the beginning, we are absolutely seeing it flying everywhere. Marc Hryhorskyj, when did they know that she was going to get up? I mean, they must have gone for it. And then she spiked towards the end, did she?
Yeah, Red Wrist done at 1.16. I like Hryhorskyj. I think he's very good value for the £7. And I'll just have a look at West Balboa, see how big this one went in the run. But Bridget had this one in the right place all the way around.
Tom Leach, if you're on, Toon, if you're on, massive price in running, says Chris. It was West Balboa. That's a very high. That's 3 races in a row then for the Skeletons, isn't it?
30s,
Woo!
46 matched in running.
Manny D
BSP
says,
22s.
boom! Manny says, happy days, great stuff. Manny, been with us right from the start on this show. Good to see you still knocking them in. She travelled all the way round, didn't she? Beautiful cover that she had coming off the bend. 4 horses around her. She's right in the middle. Didn't know she'd done it. This was a beaten favourite on her return, you remember. Was that at Kempton as well? Sandown.
Yeah.
And she's been a talking horse for a little while. Dan fancied her that day, didn't she? And she's come into a competitive handicap, double figures.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, and slotted in early. I think they went a real good gallop there. Conditions look very, very testing, hard work. And like you say, got cover the whole way, snuck into it mid-race, in the pocket turning in. And like I say, I think she's won a neck. I think she was value for a 2 lengths there. It was a real momentum stopper that she landed back legs first over the last, and it's taken all the running to get back up. But I think you can mark that up and offer Marc a 130. What's she going to be now, 137, something like that?
That was not for the faint-hearted, that ground, was it? That was really, if you had to be wanting that, I think. Yeah. So what a performance she's put up. Where will she go next?
22 BSP.
Yeah,
22
she's the Racing Post Spotlight
Huge.
Nap as well. Steve Boo put this up.
Yeah.
They usually nap in the feature races on a card.
Coral Cup.
You would think so. Coral Cup or
jockeys.
the boys' race, isn't it? You're thinking of, because of course Cobbler's Dream, I suppose. So let's have a look. Let's play the game. 130.
137.
You've got £10 to play with. You need to get into that race first of all.
137 gets you in.
It's almost like a compressed handicap, of course, now, isn't it? You want about £4 between top and bottom.
Yeah, 0 to 140, isn't it? 137 gets you in.
Of course, you've got Langadan. Do we know how much Langadan dropped the other day for that run? I'll find out in a second.
No. Yeah.
Favourite's been done at 5 to 4 in running there. Green Glory.
Man.
Oh, wow. I mean, that was a funny run, wasn't it, from Green Glory? I know you meant, oh, come on, say what you want to say. Come on, this is you're looking at me with those Hryhorskyj intense eyes. You think it was something to do with Philip Burns, do you, letting him drift through the pack? Just it's fine, say it how it is.
Listen, this game's all about opinions, isn't it? I'd rather have Hryhorskyj claiming 7, Philip claiming 5.
He just got lost on the far side. He went all the way out to 12 to 1, didn't he? And steamed back in. Look, everyone was just expecting the Burns magic then, I suppose, on the exchange there. Rob, what do we make of the form of that race? Because they were out on their feet.
It normally works out well, doesn't it? There are a lot of horses going into it you thought would be potentially well handicapped. So I know they're talking about West Balboa at the start of the season, like she might be a potential Grade 1 mare going forward.
You must be looking.
I'm so annoyed I deserted her because I postmaned the last time.
Did you?
Before the Newbury meeting that was called off.
Yes, on the.
I deserted her there. I didn't.
Jerry Fielden day. When Dan pulled a lot of his horses, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And I was a bit disappointed she got beaten at Sandown, so I've left her there. I'm a bit annoyed. But yeah,
I think Tonnerre was right behind Red Risk last time, so he had the form line right.
Yeah, Petit Tonnerre's he's been basically stopped in the run, and then he's made one mistake and he's been pulled up straight away. So give him another chance.
John did a little bit hit and miss. I know he had the winner early on the card.
I mean, unfortunately, after that mistake, not mistake, being hampered like that early, that's chance over.
Exactly.
To win these big handicaps, you need everything to go your way, and that was the end of it.
All right,
you can't lose 4 lengths, and probably lose your confidence as well. Because probably takes the wind out of you.
It heated up during the Lanzarote then in the studio. It's hot enough. I must look a tad flushed at the moment.
We're all wet through over
You've
here.
got the.
I'm going to have a shower again after this.
You've got the right shirt on, but the wrong hair, I think, for this. I mean, your hair does polarise opinion, by the way.
This is my barn. It looks different every time you see it, man.
Listen,
he looked absolutely horrible. It looked horrible on What a Shout yesterday, didn't it?
A lot of people are saying about that. The bearded plum, you were called by someone.
The bearded plum?
The bearded plum, which I think might stick. All right, let's go for the classic chase, shall we, for the final time. Not the final time, we bid farewell to Kempton now, don't we?
Yeah.
All right, so that was good fun.
Hell of a lot of time to fill between the 3 o'clock and 3:35.
Kempton highlight pick, Dory.
Yeah.
Class angle.
Grade 1 horse. Yeah. For sure. I mean, the way he pulled clear after jumping the last was pretty impressive.
And what a day for the Skeltons it is. Oh, we've got Ashdown Lad coming in the last, haven't we? He's going to be proper warm order, that is. Beecher win a £9 lower over hurdles.
Yeah.
That's going to be a proper warm order. And a quote, if you don't mind, for the Ballymore 25's a great dawning, and more honing in, I think, on the Albert Bartlett, on the Sportsbookie 16s.
Ashdown Lad 3.45 in the last. Look at that. The big mover is Charlie Launchin's horse in that race, 6-4.
What's 6-4? Oh, the mare.
Yeah, very short.
Gala, which Tom Siegel's put up. All right, okay. Lots of moves, of course, throughout the day in this classic chase. 3 mile 5. Fill your lungs for this call. This is going to be seriously stern stuff, isn't it? We've got previous winners of the race. We've got Woody Mullins coming over as well. We've got a JP Steamer, and we've got what I think the likely winner, who's just found himself to the head of the market, Grumpy Charlie. Marc Hryhorskyj, tell us about the classic chase.
Yeah, they can't really decide here. I thought Mr. Incredible's obviously interesting with connections. Willie sent him one over. Brian Hayes takes the ride. Always popular. This one got smashed up in the sportsbook overnight. But notably weak now, 11.5 on the Betfair Exchange. I think short enough off 142 of what this one's shown recently. It's probably one you wanted to be laying in the place, but too big a price now. I mean, I like Alan King's Not a Chance. Tom Cannon takes a ride.
Previous winner?
Yeah, course and distance winner.
Is that the tip?
Yeah, that's the tip, yeah. And handicapper's giving this one a chance. Dropped £2, finishing 4th behind Lamilos at Banger. Dan Skillings.
What a parlour from Marc!
Yeah, that was after a layoff. Should be fair here. Consistent sort, 17% strike rate.
The Coral Gold Cup winner, of course,
yeah.
Lamilos.
9.4.
Or Luminos.
So that's going to be the trade here.
If you're looking at phonetics, I suppose it would be that, wouldn't it?
I think.
All right, look, this is going to be great fun. This, isn't it? I think, and Not a Chance, who of course he's trying to retain the race. Of course, had been beaten in it last year and won it the year before that. It was really well found in the market. What does Poste think will win the classic chase?
Different headgear for him as well. I think he had a visor on for the first time.
Did you ever have some rides in this race? It's a sort of race I would associate it with.
Yeah, I was going to.
What did you win it on?
I saw that.
This was the day.
Yeah.
You're polar opposite to Batch, aren't you? Who screams about when he's winning. The winner of a big race.
Very rarely, mate.
I was looking at the Roll of Honour and thinking, I recognise that kid.
It's not just the Welsh Grand National then. There was something about you and Wars of Attrition then.
Yeah, it's like slow horses, wasn't it?
Did you ever win over 2 miles?
Rarely.
You won a 5 furlong race, of course. We should say. All right, so tell us about what we need in this race then.
It's again, it kind of very much goes with our sort of trends and what's been picked up by most of the people on this show over the last few years, is in stay in handicap chase, taxing conditions, but don't be out the back expecting a pace collapse. As in, I think, bar one for Arthur, I went through a lot of these races last night because Alice Stevens, who rides for us, Alice Stevens that rides for us rides Dingo Dollar in this, and so wanted to go through the race.
Keith Melrose really likes that,
and so we watch back a lot of and often it's, I mean, again, last year it was taken apart by Emma Lavell's horse, Eclair Surf from the front. Soft ground, attritional conditions, made all. And absolutely took them to pieces. So yeah, you need to be up there. Long run to the first. You start down the 5 furlong chute here, and then quick jump in, and like I say, be bang there, filling up all the time. And again, both the chases we've watched today have been won by front runners around Warwick.
Yeah, and they're lining up as if they really want a piece of it, guys. As well, Robbie, classic chase.
Yeah, like this race. I think Lord de Menil is a cracking each way bet here. Like Posty says, you want to be prominent, he's going to be there or thereabouts. He just loves this sort of marathon test, doesn't he? 3.5 miles, 3 miles 6, he stays at heavy ground. He actually went off a Betfair SP of 82 at Banger, so clearly he's gone off 33, and he clearly wasn't expected to be ready.
He's a lovable horse.
So that's a really nice run behind Lamilos. He was giving him weight as well. He's only up a pound.
Let's get some
he's off
socials
146. I think he's got outstanding claims. He'll definitely. I'd be shocked if he wasn't in the first 4.
You're quite keen on this then?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, be
Commodore for me as well.
You like Commodore as well? Had to be better than that Cheltenham run, didn't he? I think?
Definitely, yeah. As in, I'm liking what I'm seeing him lined up down the inside here.
I mean, such a good race that Volcano, the course specialist, and Chris fancies. Is a dual course and distance winner. This
long well the handicap though.
I've seen a bit of chat about this going on in the community. People saying it doesn't really matter in a race like this. I'm not so sure about it.
£10 at the handicap.
Chris Timms comes back on. Oh, you must be happy, Chris, with that Derby result. Nesta Park, each way. Yard have been flying this season. Yes, they have. Ben appalling. And he stayed well in these conditions at Haydock on his reappearance. He's a course winner, of course. I just wondered about that final 2 furlongs, Chris, when I was doing my assessment of this race. I thought Grumpy Charlie might be the one to be on here, guys. Loved him at Newbury last time. He loves the slop. I think the race maps up to suit him if they go that hard. If he can have him there at the 4th last, I think he's going to come home best.
I can see that.
Horse,
I just wondered whether it was quite a quick turnaround from the Mandarin.
Possibly a Mandarin, of course, because it was New Year's Eve, wasn't it? He won it. And the fact they're coming out, I mean, you're not short on options, are you? Really, give him a little bit of a break. It's up to 141 now. You could look at the Ida.
Grand National Trial.
Scottish National.
Haydock, yeah.
A great race for him.
Yeah.
So the fact they're coming here, Chris Honor, James Bowen on, pièce de résistance, that is for me on the tip. Say that
What about the favourite? I thought the favourite is weird. I thought that, as in the favourite, I thought, bar the connect, you got to. I mean, on form, it's got to step up. It's got to step up a lot, hasn't it?
It's off 126. He's a 7-year-old. Richie McClellan, a great rider for these sort of races.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I can see all that. I just fell round Sedgefield, one round Market raising up 116.
What's the price that Hryhorskyj can pronounce this?
I'm not going to attempt.
Come on, you always see the wall and try and climb it.
Thousands on the exchange right now.
All right, Greta Pankalon.
Do you want me to give you a drum roll?
Talking about prices, right? 3 under 5. Do you think this one will get round? 11.5, quite strong.
Greta Pan, you're look at him, he's sensing the place lay on the fav.
No,
you're on about 3 under 3.5.
Okay.
I think rhythm is going to be interesting with this horse. Like, there's no doubt he has the credentials for these sort of races.
Did it have something to do with the start at Newbury when he? Because it was a horrible start. That
it's that typical Hennessy Ladbroke Trophy start. Like that sort of cavalry Coral Trophy.
The Coral Cup, yeah. Coral Gold Cup. It was a standing start, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Lisa Turner on what was the name of the horse?
Leicester Park's very strong here.
The Venetia horse, the very good Venetia horse.
Yeah, got Lucy Turner Road. They got literally left out the back. Yeah,
Ascot horse. Anyway, look, Mr. Incredible here, brought down in the Petty Power Chase on debut for Willie Mullins, but Paul Byrne still has this.
All the late money's coming for this now, Mr. Incredible.
It was drifted out like it couldn't possibly win. I Will Do It is in here as well. Welsh National winner. Shows you can go well fresh when he won the trial for that though. Emma Lavelle bidding to win it 2 years in succession, has got Would Be Well in there, Didn't Go Dollar. Grand Mogul, your brother's on that, and I thought it was one of the last off my shortlist.
Yeah, it was because it first run for Gail Hayward last time at Chepstow in the Welsh National Trial and ran nicely behind Faraday if he steps forward.
You would blow up if this was the win, wouldn't you?
I'll give it a fair old cheer, you're right.
You're absolutely quite right to do it. Even though it's quite a low chap.
What's the angle with this volcano here? Why is it so short?
Don't see
I've
it.
not really seen it either.
Well, he just loves the gaff. He
likes
loves the gaff. Ben Jones is on, who knows him really, really well. Sheila Lewis had a couple of seasons ago, the hairdresser as they call her. She had a great run, didn't she? And this is off a fairly competitive mark. I mean, it's a much tougher race than what he usually comes into, but we know that this is a kind of test that he adores.
It's £10 at the weights today.
I don't know. I think
flags up, guys.
I can see it.
Here we go.
Lord de Menil also shortening as well. I think Rob for Robbie Wilders there.
I think he's got to go close, yeah.
You can have a false start in. No, away we go.
And he's let him go. Happy days. All right, what's going to take it up in front? Volcano. Look, I've been here and done it twice already, he says. And Ben Jones, catch me if you can. 300-5 on the Heskin. We're expecting him to be up there. Not a chance. The 2020 winner, he's up there as well.
They're going a good pace here again.
A right old pace. Nesta Park's got the inside.
Would you be Wells there as well? Grumpy Charlie out wide.
Let's see how Grumpy Charlie gets over that one. Yes, very well. Greta Pankalon's not so great. Your brother's hoping for a place collapse here. He's got Gail Harwood's right at the back
Mullins
of the ground.
also lost a bit of ground.
Mr. Incredible on the back foot, yeah.
He's a quirky individual, Mr. Incredible. He's refused once before in his career. I remember Rachel Blackmore, they were expected to win over fences one day. Oh, he came to Newbury, didn't he? Do you remember? Was that behind 300?
Behind a Hoy Senior.
A Hoy Senior, of course. That was when all the alarm bells started going. Of course, the team de Bromhead. He now finds himself with Willie Mullins. Could this be another May call? Well, he's certainly filling his lungs up front. He's erupting up front. 300-5. We have got a bit of a neck, haven't we? A bit of a... Well, Luwata, name that, is Oscar Juarez in the run, says win not a chance at tens. Greta Pankalon, says Tom Barris. Good to see you, Tom. Been mapped out for this. Keep it simple. Tom, it hasn't, says Paul. And he's widest of all under Richie McClellan. Canny tactical rider, Richie.
Greta Pankalon, 5.4.
What don't they like? What's gone right out? I mean, Mr. Incredible, he was coming in again. Well, he was obviously Antipode's favourite for this. Unsurprisingly, Mullins, Paul Byrne, of course, Brian Hayes, cracking rider. But yeah, he's right at the back now.
Yeah, the one they don't like is 3 under through 5.
Don't get that.
That one's out to 16s, BSP 12s.
Well, surprising.
Have a
Yeah, I
piece
don't
of it,
see
Charlie, in
Going
running.
quite nicely.
If Charlie Poste, who has won this race, don't rub your eyes and have to,
Knows what it
rebuff
takes.
it. He has won this race on a right old quirky character as well. Roos Blanc was, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a funny horse, yeah.
And you give yourself a bit of credit for the ride. Why? What happened early in the race?
I said nothing.
Come on, you didn't. Something happened with the reins that you were very proud of yourself.
I think
about.
Richard Lee tapped it up. The girth was a bit loose saddle.
Oh, it's getting spicy in here. All right, Lord de Menil then out the back. Commodore, one of Postie's other selections. He's just got into quite a nice rhythm, actually.
Missed out there, as you said. You do that every time. Yeah.
What was the grey horse that she had? Was it Achilles in this race that went really close?
Yeah.
And they hammer and tonged it, didn't they, that
Yeah.
day? And he just came out with work. What a finish it was that day 12 months ago. Your brother's getting Grand Mogul spinning up a little bit. He, again, he's a classy animal, this, but probably not the most straightforward. And Ben's got a nice little sit there on the inside.
He's got a lovely pocket just down the inner. He'll watch it all unfold, and he's kind of riding for fourth,
Did he
as we'd
phone
say.
older brother and say, come on, you've won this race before,
No,
what's the tackers?
he doesn't listen to me much.
All right, okay, fair. That's probably because you beat him in all those triathlons. 300 through 5 then, sitting just the length off Volcano, who's really heating up now in front, isn't he? Oh, look at that lovely action on the grey out in front. Someone once said they jump better. Let's see how he's going to take. Well, what will be the last next time around? This mammoth running, because the final fence being omitted due to waterlogged ground. It is that heavy at Warwick. Something's gone wrong, I think, with attack on Commodore, isn't it?
What do you think
Out
of
the
Mr.
back.
Incredible here? They seem to like this one on running. It's 6 to 1,
Well, he's
11 to 2
tanking,
in running.
isn't he? He's
Warmed up, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. This would be quite an incredible feat if he could come through the pack like that. I tell you who else is catching my eye, Robbie Wilders. Last season's a Welsh national winner for Sam Thomas.
Yeah, I was
will
thinking
do
the
it.
same as well. Yeah, he obviously seems pretty ready at this stage. How much he's gonna find later on, we'll wait and see. But,
I'll give you a quote
It's a big
from-
old ask.
I'll give you a quote from Grey Dawning, if you don't mind, guys. They're going to take a very good look at the Albert Bartlett. And he's a horse that's frustrated them a little bit, and they think he's still learning on the job and will love some better ground as the spring comes on. Did mention Aintree, Posty.
Not surprising.
All right, okay. So they haven't got a run in this, the Skeltons, have they? Surprisingly, they've got a hot favourite in the last of Ashtown Lad. That'll be our final race here on Race Sports Live this afternoon. As Commodore pulls up, looks like Dingo Dollar might be having the same fate as well. Who do we like, Marc Hryhorskyj? Grumpy Charlie just gone back through the run a little bit.
Guttapan Kalonge, 5 to 2 in running here. Grumpy Charlie's 20 to 1 in running. I think my selection could be cooked. Made a couple of mistakes. Sitting in fourth there under Tom Cannon, under pressure now. Not a chance.
Posty, if you were jumping on one now.
If I was jumping on one now, I'm going to go 300 through 5. I liked him early doors, but if you're asking me to pick a few out, I will do it. Guatapan, Kalonge, all sort of travelling well and catching the eye.
Yeah, and all of some of those Paul Byrne colours, those famous
Looming up, aren't
shunter
they?
colours on the
Catching the eye
inside.
now, isn't he?
Brian Hayes, such a talented rider. He's gone from the outside to the
I was
inside.
going to say, he's been all over the racecourse, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They've gone for that inside run, which Jamie Moore said earlier on the card. He thought it was nice, fresh ground there, but it's starting to look a bit tacky now, guys, isn't it? It's drying out a tad. The wind must be absolutely blowing a hoolie there. Grumpy Charlie now going to the outside and wanting to get into it. This is this row of 5 coming up, Charlie. All important.
Yeah, I think so. Like, you ideally want a bit of space there so you can get an uninterrupted view of these 5. And if you can jump them clean, it's just such an advantage, as I said earlier on. And like I said, they turn in now and Volcano leads them 300 through 5. I will do it. Guatapan Kalonge, not a chance down the inside. Nesta Park backing out of it. Mr. Incredible travelling well.
Yeah, Grumpy Charlie looks like it is coming too soon, that run. He's just spat the dummy out a little bit.
Lord Manil picking a couple off.
Oh, you're getting excited? Because he's
Yeah, a
a
little bit,
thorough
mate.
stayer, isn't he?
He is a forest stayer. Just needs to keep touch because he is going to keep finding.
Yeah, and Nesta Park just dropping off him. I know a couple of you fancied that. And then Volcano
300
now
through
being
5
taken
taken
on.
over.
Okay.
Heskin knows that he's on a horse that wants to stay all day. Volcano still just about pitching though, Ben Jones. I will do it. My goodness, Sam Thomas is going to get excited. Guatapan Kalonge, despite the fact he's still a bit sticky, Post, he's bang there.
He is, yeah. I mean, Richie McClernand just chasing him on now. I don't think he'll be winning this. Looks like it's going to be down to I will do it or 300 through 5.
What about Mr. Incredible, Marc? Because this is Mullins and he's creeping.
No chance.
2 to
No
1 in running.
chance.
2 to 1 in running, Mr. Incredible.
Wow, okay. 300 through 5 wasn't great there, Post. That was 5 out, I
Yeah.
think, was it?
Yeah, no, four. It's going to
usual
3 out.
4 out,
3
okay.
out. So we got 1 to jump in the classic chase. I will do it. Leads them in. The only one still travelling.
Okay, but no, 3 under through 5, not done. So basically, guys, we've now got one fence left, and he's being set alight. Stan Shepherd says, come on then, we've won a Welsh Grand National, let's go and do it. One more fence to go. Volcano's on an absolute sledger, isn't he? Not a chance, previous winner still there. Greta Pankalonge looks cooked. Now up and over he goes. When will fitness become an issue here? He's got them cold. All of a sudden, not a chance, the previous winner. We know he gets the line. Mr. Incredible, all too late, I think, for him. 3 under through 5 now working.
It's all over, lads.
This is all over, isn't it? What a training performance. I know a lot of people crab that cliche, but this really is. He had all sorts of problems after the Welsh National. They gave him loads of time. He is a serious horse.
It's not over.
It is all over.
It's over.
What do you want about
over.
Mr. Incredible?
It
All
is
too
over.
late. Again, the dogs will be barking for that one next time out. Not a chance. Right back to form, but only third. And Stan Shepherd absolutely loved that. Greta Pankalonge is in fourth. It looked like Volcano did hang on to fifth from the 6th place. 3 under through 5, Marc Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, the money was right about Volcano at £10 at the handicap. BSB 18.3 ran a really strong race. Winner, I Will Do It, BSB 29.5. Mr. Incredible's run a really strange race, hasn't it? Under pressure, ran on again for second. I think this ours, well, my selection, not a chance, no excuses. BSP 9.82. Listen, we'll take the profit in the each way market. But yeah, just ran into one there, Sam Thomas.
Oh, big time. Yeah, that was a great shout. But he is obviously a very, very good horse. He's a 10-year-old now. Let's have a little think about where he might go next, because of course he came back in December, last year, or 2 years ago, I should say now, and won the Chepstow trial for the Welsh Grand National, posted by 24 lengths. He then followed up on horrible ground in the big one itself, and he's just defied a £7 higher mark on his comeback. How long has he been with Sam?
300 days that was off. So it's interesting. He came for Angel's Breath, who blew out, and that one was friendless, bolted up.
Well, he has run good to soft this horse, but he obviously is a proper mud lover, isn't he? And it's glorious out there. And Sam Thomas, fair play, probably a little bit underwhelmed with Angel's Breath earlier on the day, but that was a serious. He's a proper target trainer, isn't he, Sam?
Very much so.
Considering the amount of horses he's got, it's impressive stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, like his training career took a while to get rolling, didn't it? He had a few years where it didn't look like it was really going to happen, and then over the last 3 or 4 seasons, he's really come to the fore.
Horses winning, when the money's down and things like that, and gets a good model of horse, doesn't he?
Very much so, yeah.
Where we go with this guy? Do you reckon, Rob?
I will do it. Honestly, mate, I have no idea. He seems to need testing ground, so I wouldn't be sure about the.
Yeah, like I say, he has one of good stuff, but he probably at his very best. National, we're going to see some quotes coming in for that.
He's 147 at the moment. He's probably going to get £6 for that.
Nice little break. One for Arthur did it, of course.
Yes.
1.5.
Is he a spring horse?
1.53.
Did one for Arthur not run again after winning the Classic Chase? Let's have a look. Could you? Again, you don't know what you get. I mean, it's always easy underfoot on the national course, isn't it? Because they put them, put the Thames on it, basically. Let's have a look. I'm just looking to see what the national winner did, of course, after we won. Just bear with me here, guys. He went straight from Warwick.
Well, I mean, he has a month now before the Grand National trial at Haydock, which
really ought to suit, it?
But it all depends how he comes out of this. Then you got Ida Chase, if we ended up proper slow ground.
And look well treated under a penalty if you do it.
Could you take him over the Irish Grand National? Fairyhouse, as in...
Very interesting. Is this Diamond Racing? They're very old school syndicate Diamond Racing.
They are.
12 to 1 for the Ultima handicap at Cheltenham. I think that's short. Wouldn't be taking him.
Yeah, well, not for me.
147 here, going to go up £7 for that. You're looking at national really, because if you're talking about some of the horses that are top weights in nationals now, you could easily find a 170 horse there.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a lovely weight there, aren't you? You probably want to be around about the mid 150s to make sure you're going to get into a national and get off of sort of proper racing weight.
For the national.
Is that what he is?
Yeah, it's too short.
Which is near the top, right? Who's favourite on the sportsbook at the moment for the Nash?
I'll just get that for
Marc,
you.
get that
We've got Noble Yates 8 to 1 with Betfair. Yeah.
Noble Yates.
Any second now, 14.
The price-wise Gold Cup selection for you out in the members club in your paper this week.
Korak Rambler, I'd rather be on that one. 20 to 1.
Yeah, now you're talking. This is the one. Korak. I wonder where he's going to go. Maybe
National.
Ida. Yeah, obviously the National. He's got to have a preference.
Avalon.
Why wouldn't he go Ultima again?
Interesting. When do the weights come out for the National? It's soon, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he could. I mean, is it just after the Grand National trial or not at Haydock, or is it before then?
Entries to the Grand National end of January. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's so hard to remember, isn't it? Who likes I Will Do It out there for the National? We've now got a little bit of time. Around about 15 minutes to our final race here of 7. this afternoon on Racing Post Live. What fun we've had. We've had some winners along the way. We've had some good banter along the way. Let's have some chat now, shall we? So build some socials. How's your afternoon gone? Have we seen any Cheltenham Festival winners this afternoon? We've seen the Mayor. I think was probably the one. Can I give you a quote from Pick Dory while we've got time?
Please.
We love the Betfair Ascot Chase over 2 mile 4. And which they won with Searname, of course, in 2019 for Johnny Delahaye. And Johnny Delahaye was at Kempton today. He's definitely grown up.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's bigger, stronger horse. We were pretty worried. Paul was slightly worried from Barbados about the ground. 10 millimetres overnight. We thought it was going to be too soft.
So where'd you get these emails? I don't get these emails.
No, it's because, our reporters like me, Rob. It's probably the right way of saying that he could nick one, a grade 1. If he's going to nick a grade 1 Pick Dory, they think that will be it.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, he might meet
these
Fakir
emails
Duderies. It would be tough nut to crack, but he's improving quickly.
Charlie Hobson says he's not sure whether the Ryanair would be his gig, which I think is fair, isn't it?
What about Pick Dory?
Yeah,
and then he's going to go Ascot Chase and then Melling Chase at Ascot, isn't he? Aintree.
Writes itself, does it?
Yeah.
Nice and simple. All right, happy days. So,
and then finish off in the Celebration Chase at the ground.
He's a great horse, though. He's picked up loads of prize money and they're thrilled with him. Anyway.
He's got a lovely way of racing, hasn't he?
Just keep it simple.
Head down and just gets on with his job. He looks like he'd be a real pleasure to ride.
Yeah, we go back to Warwick for the 3:35. 2 non-runners, both JPs are out of that side of Belly, and the bomb at Liston. And we've got a right old steamer in that, and not favourite Ashdown Lad, despite the fact that the Skeltons, Team Skelton, Harry and Dan, are on, and Bridget, of course, are on a Saturday 4-timer.
Yeah.
They started the Saturday so well, didn't they, in the jump season? It started really off. What was the horse that won the West Yorkshire Hurdle on Charlie Hall Day?
Molly Ollie's Wishes.
Yeah.
Proshima.
Yeah, they had the double there.
Oh, yeah, no, it's Proshima.
Yeah.
Who suddenly went wrong at Newbury. Looks like he's on the spell for the sidelines, doesn't he? But it's just been a great run. And then round about Christmas, it went a bit sticky, didn't it?
Fine,
I know, it's hard to... You're knocking it, you're crabbing it. Grey Dawning, of course, won for them at Christmas.
Yeah.
There were a couple of horses that didn't quite come up to expectations.
Like Gilead, Lito, and stuff like that.
There were others, weren't there, as well? OK, all right, so we've got a Potemps qualifier coming up talking about the Cheltenham Festival. Let's have your favourite horses so far of the season, all that sort of stuff. We've got a little while. Build up your socials. How's your weekend going? Who wins the Clarence House Chase next Saturday? Mark, we had Shishkin versus Energumene last time. Shishkin was warm favourite of that, and it was one of the tussles for the ages. Energumene on the sports book around about, what, 64 on?
Do you think, obviously going on to the racing, that affected Shishkin moving forward?
Yes.
That run? Yeah.
Yes.
I'll get that race up for you just now.
Unquestionably.
Yeah,
what do you
that's
reckon,
what I think,
guys?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all got a bit funny.
I think we've seen Ascot, unfortunately, for Nicky Henderson be a bit of a... For two horse, and we Altior as well before that,
Yeah.
you know.
Talking of Searname, that was the race, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're 8 to
Boston
13,
Daltior.
best price. And
8 to 13.
Best price, yeah.
That's a bit short, isn't it?
Edward Stone, 6 to 4.
Yeah, he's not going to be any shorter on the day.
I know he's a worldie, Energumene. He's a champion chaser, of course, and but the form you can pick holes in.
Race fell apart, didn't it?
He's just so much better than horses he's beaten in Ireland, like Hellyways and things like that. And because he's never gone to Leopardstown, I don't know. It's interesting. I know he's won the champion chase, but he had to win that, didn't he? And the one time that he was eyeballed. I think Edwardstone. I'm a massive Edwardstone fan. I've become a massive Edwardstone fan.
Yeah, he just needs to get over whatever happened at Kempton.
But it wasn't like it was he galloped round and winged every single fence afterwards. Let's just talk about that quickly, because this is the feature race next Saturday. We're covering for you the showpiece. We're going to give it some large, aren't we? And here we go. Team Energumene, Team Edwardstone as well. And Kingy said the quote afterwards, which we mentioned since the debrief. You and Matty talked about this really well. Tom Cannon, we thought Matty said, didn't he, to Matty Batch, sometimes when you ride horses like that that's so good at a fence, you get a little bit, not cocky, not confident, but you just expect them to do it. They almost slalom their way into it, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean...
Zigzagged
it. I think, like I said at the time, I think you just can end up a little bit in neutral because you're kind of trusting the horse too much, as in he's got a great relationship with Edwardstone, and I don't know, maybe Tom just went down then thinking the horse was going to organise himself, and he kind of just... Well, it was just a bit of a sloppy error, wasn't it? But... Kempton at Christmas is the right time to do it, as in maybe like for all of them, it's just like, let's just switch on again and get it right. And
if it comes back to that Tingle Creek form, it is not the disparity that we will be seeing currently in the market, I don't think. And the anti-post layers in the champion chase, they ducked Edwardstone, didn't they? Because they put him in around about 9 to 4 after that. When you've got Shishkin coming out, everyone thought Energumin would be like Toussaint's shot. All of a sudden, we've got a very credible rival here. He's the Arkle winner. We've seen the Blue Lord, which Tom Siegel, I think, sort of almost picked himself, didn't he, as the value pick. Did you read Tom's piece in the...
I didn't read it, no. Oh, I see. He put up Blue Lord, did he?
I think you have to, don't you?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, he's still got the Ryanair option, but if he wins the Dublin chase, which, looking at the entries, he probably
will. He's going to shorten again.
They're probably going to have to go for the...
Raikkonen fan who's having a great day out there, grey dawning, he says, Energumin without a doubt. Are you just expecting Energumin to win?
I think he's slightly better than Edwardstone, yeah. I mean, I was really impressed.
You know, you're seeing it as the market says then?
I am, yeah. I just don't... Edwardstone hasn't faced a horse of that quality yet.
Well, he thrashed Blue Lord. And he thrashed Granatine.
Yeah, Blue Lord. I feel like Blue Lord's a different horse this season.
Mark, let's bring you in here because this is the sort of thing that you like to. You're a little bit like Robbie. Robbie looks at things outside the box and looks for prices that are going to collapse and where you might see it when others don't. You can sense when a hot pot might be looking a bit vulnerable. Has the goat got this in his sights?
You know, you look at Energumin's form. I think he's not done anything wrong. Just bumped into Shishkin once. Clearly handles the course. I think he's probably about a 2 to 5 chance, to be honest with you.
You think he's a
his
certain
own chance, yeah. I think if he jumps, stays on his feet, he wins. There's nothing else in the race. And I'm looking on the Betfair Exchange right now. He's 2.1 for the champion chase. What, he's 11 to 10. He's probably going to go odds on 1.7.
What Energumin is?
Yeah.
That's good value if you can get the liquidity on that.
Because there's nothing else in the race. I mean, Blue Lord's often very keen. He's not going to get anywhere near Energumin.
I don't want to dislike Energumin, but when I see horses, you know, in races of this ilk that are so short, you have to try, don't you, and look where the pitfalls might be. Just have a look through his form, guys, out there, and see if I'm completely mad. But I don't know. He is a cracking horse for the ages. But honestly, I think Edwardstone's going to give him a right race next Saturday.
He'll give him a race, yeah, but I feel like Energumin 2 lengths.
What about tactics as well? Do you think they'll revert to old tank Energumin and crack on?
It's me call, yeah.
But they didn't do that in the champion chase, did they?
Yeah, I think they were sort of...
Which was the curveball of the festival.
This will be a forerunner field.
Well, he didn't need to, does he?
Do you think they rode him like that because the Shishkin was in the race that time?
Possibly. Very possibly.
Yeah,
that's
definitely what happened, yeah.
What, did Cheltenham?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they felt that they kind of got softened up for Shishkin to come and nab him at Ascot, didn't they? And then they wanted to follow him, and I think Paul Townend said at the time,
that's a good race. Look at the form at Envoy Politolog, put the kettle on.
I think like anything, you can get sucked into picking holes, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And I mean, he absolutely smashed them, didn't he, sir?
He did. We've got any more socials out there? West Balboa, to remind you, won the Lanzarote for the Skeletons out there, and some of you, Matty D was on. Look, guys, all about the app. It's going to be that moving forward. We're going to be showing you plenty of the app going on.
And taking out these big...
White Mud Love, I was there that day. It was a horrible day, and he pulled it out. And he became a sort of target trainer of these big handicap
the county hurdle, wasn't
it? You can do it, of course.
Superb story.
Who was laid out from the Greatwood to that.
Yeah.
That was when we first... They've got great facilities there as well, haven't they? Shittabello.
Yeah, and Mahayed, three county hurdles. I mean, it takes a bit of doing, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that was his in. You see it on the flat, don't you? Trainers go for 2-year-olds, or they go for cast-offs and things like that. He targeted then. Now he's showing he can do it all. Protectorate.
Exactly what I was going to say. I think that one's way under the radar here.
He's got to be a contender, hasn't he?
Yeah. He was third last year. Can you be beaten in the Gold Cup and going with it next year?
I think Gallopin's too short.
A Plutard.
Eights. I think Gallopin's too short.
Straight away batted that back to Dave Orton there, didn't you, in your snake shirt?
13 to 8 is too short for the favourites.
Slippery customer.
Yeah,
slippery customer.
Gallopin.
The other thing we said we're going to talk about, Davy Russell, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no big surprise because sort of saw it coming a little bit. Feel for Jack Kennedy, obviously. He just keeps having these
5 broken legs.
What is he, 22, 23?
23, yeah.
That's scary.
He's all still ahead of Jack, isn't it, thankfully? But he's had some pearls.
Too worried for his longevity.
Yeah, I suppose
if this many injuries this early.
It was a horrible fall, unfortunately, wasn't it?
I saw a really good segment on Ruby Walsh saying it's more mental that he's going to feel. Because he's going to see Paul Townend getting closer to him in the championship. These winners he's going to miss out on.
Well,
physical.
I think it's more mental as well. Never mind the championship. I mean, it's when you come back and you're thinking every time I hit the floor I break.
So Davey comes back in with the the cavalry and
Rolls Royce of a rider.
What do you make of this? Because you would have been in this position before. When you retired, you knew that was it. End game, no more.
Oh, for me, I mean, it's a completely different story.
Of course,
but my concern is like
Davey Russell's out there, so you'll all be different.
With any sports person, like when you check out, and your concern is now he's come back, and you can see why he's come back because of the opportunities it offers and the money, etc. But you hope you don't get hurt or anything now.
You think it'll be in the back of the mind somewhere?
whether it is or isn't for him, I'm saying for me watching, someone that knows him and likes him and sees him as a bit of a friend on a loose term, but you just hope that it goes well.
Well, he is a legend of the weighing room, isn't he? I mean, he's an amazing bloke, and he's given some of the best rides I've ever seen to horses over my career. Unbelievable rides. And why has Elliot done this then? Experience?
I think 100%. I mean, I think what you're seeing is like he's made a big thing about championing the quality of those young riders, Jordan Gainford, Sam Ewan, etc. But he's obviously feeling right now they're not quite ready to kind of step up and take all these big rides on Saturdays.
Who's Sean Bowen attached to at the moment?
Ollie Murphy, Hryhorskyj.
Because he uses him when he comes over.
He does, yeah. I mean,
I must admit,
that's an interesting shout.
I thought that might have been what they did. I thought they might have got him over there.
Gordon's going to have a lot of runners in these handicaps.
The problem, what you're seeing is like if you're saying that with Sean Bowen, you're asking him to commit in the short term, even though the job isn't going to be his for much longer.
Are you surprised he's not got a big job yet, though? Because obviously James, his brother, is at Hendo's.
Yeah, but where is that job?
Well, you're here.
No, but where is that job?
What do you mean?
All right, let's put it out there. Put your neck on the chopping board. Who are you sacking to give the job to?
Well, you're not sacking. You're just saying.
Well, you are. Who are you taking off of that job?
You could give him a short
No. I'm saying like the Gordon Elliott thing. I see, but he's not going to give up all his contacts in England to go out on a short-term contract to ride for Gordon Elliott.
Hryhorskyj had him and then said, "I'm not going to have a stable jockey," didn't he? Because he started to use Johnny.
But I don't think Hryhorskyj has enough credentials or horses.
Sean Bowen is destined for a big job. We thought it would be Nichols. At one point.
Agree. But Sean Bowen right now, I suppose, is the go-to rider. He's riding Noble Yates. He's riding for Ollie Murphy. He still rides a bit for Hryhorskyj.
So you think he's got the horses that he doesn't want to give up?
No, I don't think that at all. I think he is the one person waiting in the wings. But you've seen at the moment, like Harry Cobden's grown into the role with Paul Nicholls. He's riding unbelievably well. Probably the most improved rider over the last 3 years.
Agreed.
Henderson has a very loyal relationship with Nico de Boinville. I don't know how much longer he'll carry on for, but I mean,
James' natural progression.
Exactly. So you've got the slot there. So you start looking at the big jobs. Dan Skelton isn't going to sack his brother, and there's no reason to. They're an incredible team together. Harry could ride for another 10 years with the way it is because he doesn't really ride for anyone else. So where is that big yard that you're saying that Sean Bowen is going to immediately jump into that gives him that propulsion to be riding in all the grade ones?
Well, sometimes, I agree with that, and that is very good logic. But you just think sometimes when these things happen mid-season, you've got to think fast, haven't you? So he's gone for Davey. Davey's agreed to come back. We've got massive rides coming up.
Yeah.
And the love affair's back on.
And it also upsets no one, doesn't it?
Turnaround.
It also upsets no one. Davey Russell's a brilliant rider. He knows he's going to have it for the short term. He probably is going to get Cheltenham in, and then he rides off into the sunset again.
And the interesting thing is that you remember Barry Orr about a season ago saying, is this going to be the big win? Is this going to be the announcement? Because we knew it was coming, didn't we? But he does. I think he said just before he retired, didn't he? Davey said, "I've been riding as well as ever." And even Michael O'Leary came out and said, "I think in the last couple of years he's been absolutely massive. You've got the diet under control and all that sort of thing." But it's great to have him back first and foremost. And Gordon's gone for the experience. Yeah. Gordon Gainford will still get some spares, like you said. He's going to have loads of runners, isn't he?
I don't think Sean Bowen merits that stable. To be honest with you, I think there's better options in Ireland. Yeah.
Really,
go on. You saw the overreaction when he had that winner, Best Triton, last week. I think it was a bit of an overreaction. I think the one in front stopped.
Oh, it was a superb ride. And he just, if you get on your computers, get it Mackleduff at Wetherby up there, and he absolutely lifted that.
I think Brian Hughes done something similar. It was a better ride, but no one said anything.
No, listen, it's very interesting.
Champion
You're
jockey.
sitting very quietly here.
I'm just watching you boys all shoot far away about different jocks.
Chew the fat.
Listen, he's a good rider.
I wouldn't have a strong opinion.
I don't think he's at that level yet, taking stable jockey at Gordon Elliott.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, interesting.
We hope that Sean Bowen
and
gets
Brian
a big
Hughes,
job
I think Brian Hughes is the best probably rider in the weighing room. Well, full stop in Britain, but he's kind of made his niche, hasn't he? And he's not going to give that up.
Yeah, I totally understand. He'll ride
4
or 5 favourites up north during the week, comes down. So if he's not going to get the rise, is he?
Yeah, well, let's hope you like it out there listening to this sort of thing. I'm no doubt so that Jack Reed will clip that up probably as well, because it's literally like we were sitting in the pub, if you like, or whatever it is. It's just racing people talking about racing, getting your opinions out. It's what you get here on the show. We'd love to hear from you. You've got one more chance to tell us what's going to win the 335 at Warwick. It's the final of 7 coming up. It's a potence qualifier. Let's switch back then. And Charlie Longston's mare, who was a winner for Charlie over Christmas at Kempton. She's a dour individual, and she's found her way to the head of the market.
Yeah, 2.84 glimpse of Gala here. Very strong, Charlie Longston. I think it's at Bradley Roberts. He's rode this one a few times, so knows this one. Ashtown Lad for the Skeletons, 3.2. This one was around 5-2 earlier, around in at 9-4. The one that's the big mover is Lieutenant Rocco. This one was 20-1 on the Betfair Sportsbook. It's 8.6 now on the Betfair Exchange.
I'm laughing because Paul Keeley thought this was the biggest certainty it was ever made the racecourse if he'd have made the ultimate that year. And he's had quite a lot of problems, but he'll love the ground. He's talented on his day.
Yeah, personally, I wanted to place Lady David Pipe Runner here, but too big a price for me.
Paracore,
yeah, 18.5 was in around 8-1, 9-1 yesterday. It would have been a place lay for me. I think these are classy sorts. Got Ronald Pomp of 145, Ashtown Lad. I think we could comfortably get this one out of the place, but the price isn't there. So again, you don't have to bet in every race. So I'll give the floor to Charlie and the boys here. What do you fancy?
Yeah, I mean, I came down with. I didn't realise she was going to be as short as this, but Glimpse of Gala. I mean, we had a form boost through. How are we going to pronounce this one?
Which one?
Oh,
you're making this. Oh, geez, I'm not even.
We can see out there what the horse is. Is it Cocky Club?
Is that what we're going for?
That could have been.
Yeah.
That could have been career ending for the man.
With West Bilbao, so and Glimpse of Gala beat her last time round. Kempton.
Check you out with your collateral form lines. Loving it. And the market agrees with you.
Stays fantastically
and
well.
Has one here.
Stays fantastically well. Yeah, exactly. There's one here. Bypassing Lines, who I think is a fantastic sire, really underrated, and they love these sort of conditions. Charlie Longsdon.
Andrew Balding.
Charlie Longsdon. And I think, do you not think in these sort of races you're looking for trainers that just want to train winners right now? And I don't believe there's a long-term plot for this horse for the Pertemps final. I think it's like, let's make hay and get on and win races.
I fancied her at Ascot when she was second, and I missed her at Kempton. I just wonder, this is a bit hotter, isn't it?
It is a warmer race, but she's on the upgrade.
Bradley Roberts?
Yeah, talented rider, as in he kind of burst onto the scene this season. And yeah, there's no negatives. He's very good value for £7.
It's good to see them get opportunities.
Is he?
It's good to see jockeys like that £7 clearance getting opportunities on a Saturday.
Charlie Longsdon has had a bit of a bounce back season at the moment. He's training plenty of winners. He's been a bit quiet the last couple of years.
All right, so I'm surprised that she's usurped Ashtown Lad as favourite. Could he yet go off favourite Darren Yates' horse? That's the question, I suppose. The Beecher winner, of course, Ashtown Lad. Now reverting, it's all about the national with him, isn't it? Darren Yates will certainly be wanting to go there. It's quite right too that the Beecher winner goes straight for the national, but yet they want to get a run into him. I love this plotting.
The only concern I feel like is, I don't know if he's weak in the market, Marc, but has he had a break since Aintree, and then he's a couple of easy weeks, and then he's coming back, and they're using this to sort of get a blow into him as a stepping stone towards Aintree, maybe. I was
really surprised to hear that Tom Messenger gave us a quote saying maybe the Topham in Aintree. I mean, it's 3 mile 2 in the Beecher. You've got to be going for the national, haven't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't listen to him.
It's very strong in the exchange here. Glimpse of Gala, 2.74. Expect this one to go for around the 6-4 mark.
Okay, it's not the only horse.
Lieutenant Rocco's definitely the mover. In at 6-1 now. This was 16s, 20s on the Betfair Sportsbook yesterday.
Lieutenant Rocco.
Yeah,
for Sid Hosey, of course, who owns these horses. He's finally taken him under his own training wing. Sid, he's done okay. I remember this guy winning as a novice for the Tizards.
Yeah.
And that was when he became a sort of like supreme type horse, wasn't it? He only ran 5 days ago, of course. So you have to ask yourself what's going on there a little bit.
Yeah.
Sam Ewing, the aforementioned, riding for Gordon Elliott on level never ending, the Morans. We've got Ronald Pump, who I think is overpriced here for Brian Hayes and Kieran Murphy.
Yeah, I agree. He's my backup selection after Bomber Liston came out.
The Pumper.
No money around for him whatsoever.
It's 11-4 for the 3-place market here. It's a big price.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a 4-place market? Is it two?
Just 3, just 2 and 3 place market.
Because
I'm getting greedy.
Because surely he'd rather finish 4th.
Yeah.
3rd, wouldn't he?
He ran last time behind a horse called Fleur at Clonmel. I covered the close-ups for that race, and Dale Cure, who was second to come out and won the big race at Leopardstown over Christmas.
Paddy Power.
Paddy Power.
Yeah.
Switcher stable, that was all of a sudden, wasn't it? And he was, or was he second? So I can't remember anyway. But Dale Cure has won a blinder since. He stuck to the inside that day at Clonmel, Ronald Pump, and it was bogging horses down. The winner of the second came down the outside. It was horrible ground that day. He's got back class, doesn't he? He's
a class angle, isn't it, off 145 here.
Brian Hayes is on. I just wonder if this is to get him qualified.
What do we think?
We've got 7 runners and only 3 miss out on the qualification for the final.
What do you think of Gordon's runner here? Level.
Tell me about this chap, Marc.
Sam Ewing's on board. Again, a rider that I really, really like. He's definitely one you want to be on side with. Again, I think it's probably a bit of a step up here, but this is a yard you can never discount, is it?
Tom Leach in the chat, who's been with us all afternoon, says, Ronald Pump, when did he last win? Pre-lockdown, wasn't it?
Quite a while ago.
Probably
certainly.
was. When Angel's Breath was still
I
running.
mean, his best form's been in placing in Grade 1s, isn't it? Placing the Stayers Hurdle, placed behind Honeysuckle and the Hatton's Grace.
All right, okay. What about on the blind side? Talking about class angles here.
24s on the Betfair
Placing a
Exchange.
Ballymore in his pomp. Sean O'Brien, what do we know about this?
Yeah, £10
Brian, I
claimer.
should probably
Yeah,
call
I think it might be just pronounced Brian, but he'd have had a handful of rides for Nicky Henderson. Been based at the yard for a couple of years, I think.
There is
now.
a blank page in your jockey encyclopedia that's waiting
No,
to
not
be
at all.
filled.
I actually did I did a jump-in session with him on his conditional course in Newmarket a couple of months
it's
ago.
ridiculous,
He's a talented
isn't it?
rider, actually. I think he rides out regularly a few of the big horses at Henderson's.
Not the only claimer in this, because the other conditioner is Philip Armson, who's been given loads of chances by Pipey recently, actually, and Parry Colour. This is one you're
Very
dead
weak.
against.
Not very weak. It's out to 23s. You can't be laying that in the place market. But Ronald Pump is the mover. I mean, that's at 12 to 1 now. That was 20s a couple of minutes ago.
You have to say that Ronald Pump, if he makes the festival, he'd be one of those that the wise guys look at, won't he? For the back class and.
Yeah.
Late money for Ashtown Lad as well. It's likely to go off favourite here, 2 to 1.
Ashdown Lad's the only horse that's qualified, so. But I mean, he's probably not going to go for that final anyway, is he?
Well, if he wins, he's 130, 135. Sorry, you would
could
want a
go
little
for that
bit
on
more
route
to
to
get
eight.
into it potentially.
He'd
Yeah.
probably sneak in off 135. It is an interesting angle, isn't it? They go and take out the Potemps on the way to the National. Why not?
Why not? And again, showing.
So what are we playing here?
Showing the rule book.
Put the last bet on here for what we're playing.
I'm
Ronald
on
Pump,
Ashton.
Ronald Pump in the 3.
Why don't we have a little Ronald Pump for the place?
Ronald
I'd
Pump
be
in the three.
amazed if
He
he
ain't
doesn't.
gonna win.
If he doesn't place.
Okay, we'll have
Yeah.
20 on the place and we'll have a tenner on.
Problem is you don't
In
have
the
the
3 place market, yeah,
The
as they
problem is you
circle
don't
around
have
at
the
the start.
4 place market.
Nah, just the 3.
You'd be all over him to get out full.
Ronald Pump will go down in history then. if
Yeah,
he
we're
wins
back
this
to
race.
in the win in the 3 place market. Bets on.
All right, the pumper. Then Ronald will be giving him a good cheer. Let's hope you're cheering at the end of this. If you stuck with this afternoon, great stuff, isn't it? We still go. The Great Jumps game is alive. Back with you next Saturday around 1 p.m. for the Clarence House, Ascot. No moaning about the ground there. It's been absolute deluges. But for the final time at Warwick, what fun we've had. Off we go on the chase course. And it may be 3 mile 1, but I tell you what, Glimpse of Garda and Parry Colour are duelling for the lead. Level never ending, maybe a little bit sticky at that. On the blind side already starting to feel the pace a bit hot. Ronald Pump out the back. Unsurprisingly, the Beecher winner Ashdown Lad taking his time, and the blazing white face of Lieutenant Rocco
Very
a
keen.
little bit let up in
Very
third.
keen, yeah.
What's the market saying then? Because Glimpse of Garda was, if she didn't go off outright fab, she'd been punted near enough and she's been taken on.
Yeah, 2.92. Glimpse of Gala here. BSB 2.96. Ashtown Lad 2 to 1. So it's not been any movement here. Ronald Pump 14.4. BSP is trading at 9s now. On the
I'm
Betfair
putting
Exchange.
Wilders on pump cam, okay? This is the trade. You're on the pump cam, all right? Just keep your eyes on him, all right?
I'm keeping
Solely on him.
I'm not looking at any other horse, mate.
Brilliant. That's all I wanted to hear. Right, okay. Poste, what don't you like?
On the blind side, he looks a shadow of his former self anyway, and he was sort of chased along early. He's been switched out widest of all. I think he's the only one slight negative. As you said, Lieutenant Rocco travelled a little bit strong early doors, but seems to be okay now, following Parry Colour down the inside.
Yeah, now they've got their race positions. They have steadied the tempo. It's gone right down. And again, you could even say that the Glimpse of Gala is a little bit lit up as well. But she jumped that absolute peach. And despite the fact he's been over the national fences last time, Ashdown Lad's been in lovely shape so far over the hurdles too. We're on pump now, drops towards the back. How are you feeling on pump, Cam?
Fine, mate, yeah. Wouldn't want him to be too far back, but yeah, he's still well in touch, and he's only about 5 lengths off the leader.
Don't think the pipe runner's doing a Glimpse of Gala any favours up front here.
No, this is what I mean. This is what I thought. I thought she would have gone, higher than 2 to 1. That's for sure.
Yeah, Ashton Lad's favourite now.
Oh,
2.8.
look at Posey shake his
Seven front.
head.
I
Absolutely,
don't
keep
think
it
there's a
simple.
problem at the moment. As in, I think Bradley Roberts is quite happy, hands on her neck. She's nice and relaxed. She's got a slightly high head carriage, but I think that's her.
I mean, we talk about horses that
Slap down the shoulder for
Gordon
Gordon
Elliott's,
Elliott's
yeah.
horse.
On a loose rein as well.
Yeah.
we're talking about horses that have come in quick turnarounds that haven't worked out. There's a Grumpy Charlie,
Yeah.
and a couple before that. Moonhunter, of course, in the Leamington. That seems like a long time ago now. She was only 18 days ago, wasn't she? So again, striking while the iron's hot a bit with her.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. You'd have to say it may be as a slight worry, especially when they've been running over these sort of like extreme distances in very testing conditions. On the blind side, again, being chased along.
He's making everything look like it's Frankel at the moment, isn't he? He cannot stand the game.
No.
Level never ending. I'm surprised that one's so short, 9.8.
Maybe
Getting niggled
we
along.
could do a deal with Alan Spence and get him up, in some points? What do you think?
Possibly. I mean, I think he literally is going to stop to a walk by the time they get to the first one in the straight with the circuit to go. Glimpse of Gala just put down there. Bradley got Roberts asked her up for a long stride and she chipped in and went through the top bar.
All right, not today for Sean O'Brien, then Nicky Henderson claiming 10. We think on the blind side might have a P next to his name next time again, unfortunately. But okay, so we've got a circuit to go then. And a reminder, the top 4 of these do qualify for the Cheltenham Festival. Paracolour's certainly going to want to win it if he's going to get in it for the pipes, that's for sure. When did the Cheltenham Festival's handicap weights come out?
I've no idea, mate, but it can't be too far away.
It's Feb at some point.
Oh, yeah, definitely in Feb.
Early Feb?
Yeah.
Early Feb, something like that. Of
Ashdown
course, we're
lad.
whittling through January, aren't we?
He's clear favourite here, 2.42.
I love the way he's going, Ashdown, lad.
Cruising, yeah.
Absolutely travelled by far the best. I'll tell you what, you said about level never ending. He's
Looks under pressure.
you
Look,
can see why he wears cheap pieces.
Yeah, and he's lugging in. He's trying to lug in on top of Lieutenant Rocco. Look at the left rein, as in Sam Ewens have to pull on the right rein to keep him sort of off of him.
And we must go braking on pump cam.
He's gone
Where's
well.
the pump?
You can't
gone
ask
well.
for much more at the moment. I just
Gone
want him
well.
to keep in touch. He's not been asked anything.
Brian Hayes is being a lot more patient. He made a
Certainly going
move
better
around
than
about
Melbourne.
2 out of Clonmel, which is you've got a massive Ida ahead of you. You know what I mean? When you're going the mare though, I think she does. She's very tough. You know, it's just she's been eyeballed, hasn't she? You'd like to have seen her get a bit more of a
Tenant
solo.
Rocco's still going quite well on the inside.
Yeah.
How's pump cam going? Slight reservations now.
Slightly, yeah. He's being asked a little question. He's not really picking
The
up.
tempo has ramped up. I can see that on the clock, that's for sure. And again, Ashtown lad. Lieutenant Rocco, despite the fact he's been exuberant all the way round, so we see how he pops that. He winged that one.
Pipe Runner's going quite well here.
Which one?
yeah.
Parkala, that was the one we were actually going to take on, but the price is too big.
He's getting weight
Just
from
wanna
pretty
get
much
sucked
everything,
in
Philip
there.
Armson. Here, so he's absolute featherweight. I mean, she's what on 10.6. So actually, in fairness, they are the 2 lightweights. Lieutenant Rocco. Then the money was down on this for Sid Ozies. He's on the inside, yet to be asked a question. But when does Keane has come into it? What was that level never ending?
No, Paracolour just got sort of half length by glimpse of Gala. She came up long and he kind of paddled the flight. But he's going to let Lieutenant Rocco ride up his inside here now, Philip Armson.
I tell you what, it's just cruising all of a sudden. I mean, he only ran 5 days ago, and Tom Scudamore, Tom does. He walked through that all of a sudden, the big chasing Lieutenant Rocco and Harry Skelton doing
a long
this is
way
great
out
doing
here.
again. The 2 Irish raiders have come to try and get qualified at the moment. They're going to be 2 out of places.
Deep trouble.
Pump cam's
Pump's done, yeah.
It's gone off air, is it? Pump
It's
cam?
Ashdown lads and Glimpse of Gala.
Come on, the Ashtown. Can we go out on a flyer here? So it's Charlie Post, Glimpse of Garlows, seen off Barry Colour. But look at the Beecher winner and Harry Skelton.
Cruising, isn't he?
Guys, as confident as you like. I think it's going to be Gubtown. It's Bradley Roberts. He'll probably try and go for the rail, I would imagine.
Look at the size
Level
difference of the
never ending
horses.
is coming back, actually, guys. It's just Ronald Butt. I tell you what, he's definitely going to get qualified. At worst, I think.
Is he gonna
All
go
of a
past?
sudden, Harry Skelton wants to get going,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. No,
Glimpse
he
of Gala 2 out then.
Oh, that's
Ashdown
interesting.
lad walked through it. Made it
Still
very
is very
interesting
level
indeed.
never
What does
ending.
he find? I'll
Still
tell you
looks
what,
so
Glimpse of
confident.
Gala's hanging all over the place. And level never ending, running on stoutly as he left it too late. Come on then, they're right over it.
good
I'll
jump.
tell you what, the
Great
man
jump.
might do this, I think. Bradley
on,
Roberts has
Bradley.
still got this. A Beecher winner, he's not
Go on,
finding
Bradley.
it. That error's taken the stuffing
Great
out of him.
right.
Yeah,
Charlie
great
Post ends the show with a winner. Glimpse of Gala, the well-punted Kempton winner. It was only 18 days ago. She has sluiced home. Found loads on the running despite hanging all over the place. Good ride. Bradley Roberts, Marc Hryhorskyj.
It's an unreal ride, McCoy-esque. Hopefully that gets the media attention the same as Sean Bowen's. Unbelievable ride. Unbelievable ride.
Yeah, that was a very, very good ride. She
10
got
to 1.
taken on, didn't she?
Oh yeah, unbelievable ride.
It was quite interesting as well. If you watch back through the race, a couple of times early when they weren't going as quick, he asked her up for big long jumps and she kept putting down. And yet when the race warmed up and he really needed her, the mare was brave as you like, came up from big strides, and the jumps over the last 2 won the race. Ashtown lad, I think, you know, just a nice introduction back with bigger targets in mind through the spring. But he's qualified already, isn't he?
It was a good run. The moment he let him down,
Yeah.
he wanted to jump it like a fence all of a sudden, didn't he? Just bunny hopped it.
1.28, 2,000 done. Just under 3's on.
Cruising, and that level never ending will be quite interesting.
Yeah,
I think.
stayed
'Cause
on strongly
He's a bit of a
for it.
character, isn't he? But he's flown home. He's obviously well handicapped still. All right then, Glimpse of God. You have to have a go now. I mean, he's got Hector Javelet, hasn't he? Of course, that he'll want to get qualified.
What a ride that
for the
was.
Attempts.
What a ride.
And
Good
she
young
wanted to
rider.
run right inside the infield, didn't she?
She's a funny little thing, isn't she? You know, as in, like I said, Ashtown had dwarfed her, and she kind of went right, and then she hung back left. But every time she got to the obstacle, like, it seemed to kind of switch her on, and she came up big and long.
So for those people now looking at the Potents thinking, okay, we've got a horse that's on a roll, she stays, she goes all the way. It's still long enough away, isn't it, for a mare that's on hot form? Can't really let them down so much and be confident.
And I just wonder if she could get sort of lapped in a race like the Potents. You know, she's small as well, like a big field. It might not suit her ideally. I think if she backs back up in February in a small field and heavy ground, I'd be with her. I wouldn't be with her at the festival.
Fair enough. Well done, Charlie Poste. And well done for you guys sticking with us this afternoon. It's been great fun. A quote from Paul Byrne, actually, Mr. Incredible, who's beaten. He's going to be potentially Patrick's Kim Muir horse, they think. So look out for him. He's not done with. They were very happy with the run. All right. OK, that was the Classic Chase Fallout as well. What a day it's been, Lanzarote. Good win as well. Mares all the way, wasn't it? Skelton's day, really, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, a winner up at Weatherby as well, at least. So was it 4 or 5 across the card? So
yeah, can't keep a good operation down. Bit of good tipping afternoon for yourself, Posty.
It was all right, mate. Fizzled out a little bit in the end, but
you've got a little bit of sweat on the brow. It's hot in here, isn't it?
So what?
He's going for an ice bath.
He's wilting in here.
Well, second shower required.
You've earned yourself a margarita or something like that, which in that shirt, you can drink anything but beer. Marc Hryhorskyj, it's been an absolute pleasure having you, Marc. This afternoon, the GOAT has been back. A couple of interesting calls, of course. The double in the Trixie was landed as well.
Yeah, we got that in early. Missed a few big prices. Shantou Express, I think it was massive price, but they were right on the exchange. But again, I think Bradley Roberts, that ride, what a ride that was.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's the highlight of the day. £7 claimer.
Absolutely
Unreal.
Great stuff again from the GOAT.
Models himself on Sean Bowen, I think.
Oh, there we go. You can continue this one in the Thirsty Bear when we go and have some, I think, well-earned refreshments, that's for sure. All right, next Saturday is Clarence House Chase time. It's an Ergamine time. Join us for that.